Important update about YouTube playlists. Hey everyone. We've received many messages asking why our YouTube playlists aren't showing up. Do we create YouTube playlists? Yes, we absolutely do. So why can't you see them? Honestly, we're not sure. We've been in contact with YouTube support for several months now, but we still haven't received a clear answer or solution. After much discussion, our team has decided to take matters into our own hands. We believe the issue might be related to the number of playlists we've created on a single channel, possibly too many. Our solution? We're launching 2 additional YouTube channels, giving us a total of 3. This way, we can organize our audiobooks better and avoid the playlist visibility issue in the future. This change only affects our YouTube audience. If you're a patron supporter, you can still access all our audiobooks by visiting the collection menu on Patreon. Thanks so much for your time and continued support. Happy listening, and from there the common people were able to gain access to it. I found a site that was able to gain access to my stream with only a minute of delay, and it also had a chat, so I decided to see what people were saying at the time of the fight. Once people saw the fight between Satoru and Sukuna. Well, let's just say that the reactions weren't exactly what I expected. Ayo, what the fuck, the world is doomed. Can we just nuke Japan? Is it me, or is Sukuna really hot? Ah yes, the internet and its priorities. Sukuna and Satoru both have a bunch of fans now. Humans will be humans, I guess. Still, worshipping Sukuna? The guy who would gladly kill you for shits and giggles? Come on guys. It isn't even a minority that are fans of Sukuna. He has a not insignificant amount of supporters. Though I bet most of them are goth teens. Then once I showed up, things got even more interesting. Who the hell is this guy? Is it me, or does he look similar to Satoru-sama? What the fuck? How is he just toying with Sukuna like that? The guy who we learned destroyed a large chunk of Shibuya. Just what is wrong with this world? What the hell? Did he just recreate the explosion spell from Konosuba? Whoa. He even has a sexy maid. Badass. People just went on and on. These guys seriously have no sense of self-preservation. Still, it is quite entertaining reading people's reactions to everything going on around the world. A good way to pass the time if nothing else. Raiden, she continued to use this device, a phone. Kurumi called it, to research the best ways to please her master. When her master had left the table, Kurumi told her about this interesting thing she heard about. When Kurumi went out, she overheard someone mention something about her being more attractive than any porn actress. Kurumi got curious and ended up searching up what this porn was, and was extremely surprised when she found videos of humans engaging in procreation. She was rather amused that humans had such things freely available online. When she brought up wanting to bed her master earlier, Kurumi lent her the phone and showed her some websites that would prepare her. Kurumi called it research. She is happy she took Kurumi's advice. Watsuko and Lalitina told her was not nearly enough to thoroughly satisfy her master, though they did help her with learning her master's preferences. Once she went to her room, she had done extensive research in order to make sure she thoroughly satisfied her master. She was his maid after all. She did not want to disappoint her master, as she was not experienced in the carnal acts. Thankfully the internet, as Kurumi called it, helped her with her troubles. Thanks to her thought acceleration and increased comprehension ability, she was able to easily comprehend the information she was seeing. Now, she was ready to serve her master. Soon enough I heard a knock on my door. I was beginning to think she had changed her mind, and I didn't want to use my senses to figure out what she was doing either. I opened the door and was met with a blushing Raiden. Come in. I gave her a smile as I said, yes master. I took a good look at her. She was still wearing her maid outfit, no makeup, or anything like that either. You look beautiful, Raiden. You always got us at the mood before things like this. Somehow, her blush got even deeper. Thank you, master. She looked nervous. It seems like she has no idea what to do from here on. She acted so confident when asking to sleep with me earlier too. I'm not going to bother asking if she still wants to do this. After all, she came all the way to my room. She should know if she backed down I wouldn't have minded. I slowly approached Raiden and took her chin in my hand. She closed her eyes and I took the chance to kiss her. We made out for a few minutes. Oxygen wasn't something I needed, and Raiden can hold her breath for a long, long time. Eventually we pulled back, causing a string of saliva to form between our 2 mouths. I took this chance to cast one of the new sex magics I created with Odin's help. Enhanced pleasure and increased sensitivity both make for a deadly combo. Raiden was already starting to feel the effects. MMPH, master, I want to serve you. She's keep her maid thing going even when having sex, huh? Though I can't deny that it's kinda hot. But, if that's what she wants to do, then I'm not going to stop her. I could feel a tent pitching in my pants after all. I gave her a nod as I took a seat on my bed. I also took this chance to place a barrier over the room. I doubt Kurumi wants to listen in after all. Or maybe she does? I don't know what sort of kinks she has. Raiden slid down to her knees in front of me, and slid off my pajamas together with my underwear, causing my now half-jubbed cock to spring free, causing Raiden's eyes to go wide. She lets out a hot pant as she says, "Wow. So much bigger than they said." Even being who I am, hearing a compliment about my dick size is extremely ego-boosting. And did she say bigger than they said? Why the fuck are they talking about my sex life? Actually, I should have expected that. After I learned about their cult-like activities, I should have expected such a thing. Ugh, that's still kind of embarrassing. I bet it was Siko too. Lalatina wouldn't share such a thing without my permission. Lalatina's training has been going well. At this point she is basically my adoring, worshipful little love slave. And she loves it. Which is hot. Who knew that having a self-proclaimed masochistic slave is amazing? Now I'm kinda thankful that whatever went wrong with my attack happened. I don't think Lalatina would have turned out the way she is if it weren't for that, a self-proclaimed masochistic slave. Still, I shouldn't be thinking about another woman now. I notice Raiden staring at my dick, her eyes have gone cross-eyed. I notice her hands slowly start to approach. Once she is close enough she starts running her fingers along my cock. She sniffs my cock heavily as her nostrils flare. She slowly leaned towards the tip and gave it a kiss. I groan in appreciation. It's important to let your lovers know you enjoy what they are doing. Usually it only motivates them more. She started to lick around the tip as her adoring eyes stared at me. She increased the pace after seeing that I was enjoying what she was doing. Once she got the tip wet she slowly dragged her tongue up and down my dick, covering it all over in her saliva. Once it was sufficiently lubed she inhaled my dick, taking it to the halfway point before pulling back up. Raiden should be capable of suppressing her gag reflex fairly easily, but she wasn't for some reason. Maybe she learned from the others that I like the sensation of a woman gagging on my dick. Maybe I should thank them then. It seems they've given her other tips as well. She generally knows what to do without me having to guide her. I could feel her breath tickle me as she slowly pushed my dick further, and further down her throat. I could hear her slobbering noisily before her mouth eventually reached the base of my cock. She eventually pulled back up and leaned towards my balls, causing my cock to rest across her features. Not going to lie, seeing something like that was incredibly alluring. Her nostrils flared, tickling the underside of my cock as she started to lap at my balls. Her hand reached up towards the base of my cock as she began to give me a hand job as well. Raiden, she continued to please her master to the best of her abilities. She was rather surprised when she first saw her master's shaft. It was far bigger than the one she saw in the videos, and articles as they were called, but she should have expected such a thing. Her master is the best after all. Hearing her master groan she redoubled her efforts to please her master, as she ignored the pleasurable sensation coming from her nethers, along with the heat that was starting to build up. She must serve her master first and foremost after all, but if she archives a climax from serving her master, then that would just be a side effect of her pleasing her master. She licked up towards her master's tip as she felt his hand came to rest on her head. His fingers gently went through her hair, almost causing her to purr like Kurumi does. She could feel the pleasure coasting through her body from her master's fingers. She had heard from Siko that her master had developed some sort of magic to increase his partner's pleasure, but she didn't think it would be this good. A gurgled moan escaped her lips as she quivers in pleasure. She could feel the pleasure travel down her spine and into every part of her body. Her core clenched as she felt the heat rise up from her sex. She could feel her skin flush as she gasped, releasing air from her suddenly dry lips. She instinctively leaned further into her master's touch. She could feel the heat become more and more intense as her master kept on touching her. She continued to serve her master as she did her best to ignore the rising pleasure. She kissed his slit as she tasted something absolutely divine on her tongue. On the internet it said that most women don't enjoy the taste of sperm, but it seems she was not one of those women. Her master's essence tasted amazing. Maybe it was due to some magic on her master's part, but she did not care. She continued to suck on her master's slit, craving for more. Eventually she felt the heat from her core reach a breaking point. Her body was getting hotter and hotter, and she could feel her sex get wetter and wetter. She tried to control herself, but she was not able to, and so with a squeal she came explosively, making a mess of her silk panties. She shuddered in pleasure as she tried to regain control of herself. The flood of sensations caused her to lose the tight grip of control she normally has over herself. She went back to running her tongue over her master's shaft, hoping that she was pleasuring him well. She opened her mouth wide and slowly took him deeper and deeper down her throat, ignoring her gurgles and chokes. All that currently mattered to her was bringing her master more pleasure. She flicked her tongue lovingly on the underside of her master's cock. From the groans her master was releasing, she was doing well. I groaned in pleasure as I watched Raiden take my dick deeper and deeper down her throat. The sensation of her throat closing in on my shaft was practically divine. Blowjobs are awesome. Raiden's eyelashes fluttered as she continued to gurgle on my cock. Once she reached the base, I could tell that she had another orgasm due to her twitching in place. The gurgled moan around my cock felt amazing. I could see drool starting to leak down the side of her mouth, and onto her breasts. I take this opportunity to bend forward slightly and grope Raiden's breasts, causing her to moan. This sex magic is seriously a lot of fun. I save its more extreme uses for Lalatina, as she is the only one who really enjoys denial play, and who I am comfortable giving mind-breaking orgasms. She's already fucked in the head, so she can't get any worse. Raiden's tits feel amazing, soft and squishy, but also firm. She won't ever have to worry about sag due to her revolutions, so I get to enjoy these tits for a long time to come. Raiden's pace slowed down once she took me to the base, but she never stopped. I could see the outline of my cock going down her throat, which made for an alluring sight. Thankfully I have perfect memory recall, so I can revisit this moment anytime I want to. Raiden started to shift her hips slightly so she could grind her sex on my foot. I could feel how wet she was through her panties. She was sopping. I started to play with her sex with my toes, causing her to let out gurgles moans as she continued to choke herself on my cock. I slide her panties to the side and start to touch her directly with my toes. I have quite a lot of experience doing something similar to Lalatina. It seems these two share some characteristics, though Raiden isn't a super masochist like Lalatina. I pull my hand away from her breasts as Raiden slowly slides up my length, until she finally pops off my length, making a wet noise. "Ah, thank you, master." She's thanking me? She really is super subby, huh? I should be thanking you. That felt amazing. But now that you've had your fun, it's my turn now. Do what you please with me, master. Lie down on the bed. I order. Raiden seems to be the type to get off on being told what to do when having sex. She slowly gets off the ground and lays down on my bed. I notice her looking up at me nervously. I give her a smile. "Now let me explore this beautiful body of yours." "Yes, please, master." I quickly get on top of her as I get rid of her maid outfit and store it in my stomach, leaving her in just a black lace bra and a thong. She really wore some daring clothes tonight, huh? I noticed Raiden's cheeks reddening even more after I saw what she was wearing. Ah, a girl's first time is truly great. Siko was similar at first, now she is much more confident in bed. I head for Raiden's massive breasts first. I've been dying to get a good look at these. I unclip her bra and reveal her gorgeous round breasts to the open air. My hands go to her tits, groping and squeezing them while she moans out. Her nipples are rock hard, so I lean down and start to suck on one while slightly pinching the other. I feel Raiden grab the back of my head and push me further into her breasts as she continues to pant and moan out. I eventually release her nipple, causing Raiden to let go of her grip on my head. I take this chance to lean towards Raiden's head and start another make-out session. I continue to grope her breasts as I easily dominate Raiden's tongue. I swallow her moans as one of my hands starts to slowly reach down between her thighs. I feel her wet sex. I lightly flick her love nub as I slide one finger inside of her, which increased Raiden's moans. Raiden pulled back slightly as she said, "MMPH master, it feels so good." "Haha, I'm glad then." Raiden leans towards me as her tongue searches for my own. I oblige her and continue to kiss her. It seems Raiden really likes kisses. I eventually pull my finger out of Raiden's sex as I lean back. I give her a grin as I say, "Now, it's time for the even more fun part." Raiden looks nervous but also excited. "Yes, master. Lean back, and spread your legs wide." She follows my instructions. I quickly line myself up with her dripping vagina as I look into Raiden's eyes. Seeing that she is ready, I shove myself in, not having to worry about any sort of pain or anything my entrance may cause. Sex magic for the win. Raiden is tight, extremely so. The moment I enter her, Raiden's eyes go wide as she moans out, "Master." I feel her come instantly as her sex leaks her juices all over my dick and thighs. Her eyes are rolled up, but I still see her arms flailing around wildly trying to reach for me. I take this as the sign that she wants to hug me, and so I oblige her. The moment I'm within range, Raiden's eyes gain some focus as she kisses me. I feel her tongue prodding my teeth as if asking for permission to enter. I quickly allow her tongue entry as I wrestle her tongue back into submission with my own. I swallow her moans as I continue to thrust into her. I thrust as deep as I can into her, to the point where I can feel a little bump at the end of each thrust, a sign that I had reached the door to her baby chamber. Even though I knew I couldn't get her pregnant, the thought of coming directly into her womb turned our lovemaking session far more animalistic. Eventually Raiden pulls back as she looks into my eyes lustfully, "More please, master." Seeing as I haven't fully sheathed myself inside of her, I grip her hips tightly and forcefully push the rest of my length inside of her. "Oh. Yes, master. It feels so good." I could see a bulge in her stomach, though Raiden doesn't seem to care about that at all. I slide my hands from her hips to her bubble-ass cheeks. I easily lift her up by her butt and sit up, changing our position. I feel Raiden's tongue start to lick my face, then my neck. I take this opportunity to take one of her nipples in my mouth and start sucking. Master, I'm coming again. I feel her sex tighten up as her inner walls begin to flutter around my cock. Her entire body began to tremble as she reached another orgasm. MMMPH, I love this master, I love pleasing you like this. Raiden wailed. I could see her mouth open as her tongue lolled out, along with her beautiful purple eyes rolled up. Do you now? Then you won't mind if I do this to you whenever I want? Yes, please do me whenever you want. I am your servant. Then I'll make sure to come to you whenever I feel horny. Yes. I feel my own orgasm coming. I can easily hold it off but decide not to. Spiritual beings have full control over their bodies, so I have no refractory period after all. I might as well come buckets inside Raiden. Raiden, I'm going to come soon. I groan out inside me. Inside me, please. You don't even need to ask. I was planning on doing so anyway. I continue to thrust into Raiden, building up my orgasm more and more before I eventually release inside of her, causing her an orgasm of her own. Raiden gains a dopey grin on her face as she giggles. Thank you, master, that was so good. Hey, we aren't done yet. Raiden giggles as she says, relieve yourself of your lusts on my body. Your maid is always available for you. Don't worry, I will, my dear maid. I flip Raiden over, causing our position to shift into doggy style. As I pull out of her, I feel her sex grip me tightly, almost refusing to let me out, but she isn't nearly strong enough to impede me. Once I am fully out of her, I thrust myself back into her sex fully, causing Raiden to squeal. So good, master. I love you. Even though Raiden isn't capable of seeing me right now, I smile down at her as I continue to thrust into her, and I love you too, my precious maid. I ignore Raiden's giggles as I grope her ass cheeks while continuing to have my way with her. She's in for a long night. Chapter 60, Barriers and Healing. I wake up with a groan as I feel someone sucking me off under the blanket. Last night Raiden and I went at it until morning. Sleep wasn't something we really had to worry about after all. Thankfully, muscle soreness isn't something either of us have to worry about either, due to our regeneration and physiology. It seems Raiden wanted to give me a wake-up present. I feel her slowly pull up off my shaft. I see her head peek out from under the blanket. Good morning, master. She has a deep blush on her face with some drool leaking out from the side of her mouth. If this were a hentai, she would have heart eyes. I smile at her as I say, good morning to you too. Now are you going to finish your duty? Raiden really likes it when I reference anything sex-related as her duty, or job. Her being a maid has been integrated into her kinks. Scary. But also hot. She sent me a seductive smile. Of course, master. She is really learning quickly. I soon felt her begin to suck on my balls, which she continued for a few seconds before licking and kissing her way back up to the tip. You taste so good, master. Sex magic for the win, baby. She begins to deep throat my talk, causing me to groan out my enjoyment. Raiden, can you use your tits? I've always wanted a boob job from her. We unfortunately didn't get much of a chance to do so last night, so might as well make up for that now. She slowly pulled up. Once she was at the tip, she gave it a quick kiss before I heard her say, of course, master. It would be my honor. Having a lewd maid is great. I reach down to pet her head as I imbue my hand with pleasure magic, causing each of my touches to feel extremely pleasurable for her. You really are the perfect maid, aren't you, Raiden? Yes. I am my master's perfect maid. It didn't take Raiden long to lean back under the blanket, though, with the addition of my hand on her head. I groaned as I felt her massive mammaries surround my dick. Such a sensation is absolutely exquisite. I could feel the drool Raiden is releasing as lube slide down my dick, and into the valley between her breasts. Once her breasts were sufficiently lubed, she began to gently move them up and down as she sucked on the part of my dick that was peeking out through her tits as she continued to moan. I could feel my release begin to approach. I'm about to come, Raiden. I felt her redouble her efforts. She was clearly eager for my seed. What a lewd maid. I groaned as I came down her throat, causing Raiden to achieve an orgasm of her own. The combination of my basically addictive sperm and my pleasure magic was easily able to get her to reach her peak. I could feel some of my cum begin to leak out of her mouth and onto my dick, but I didn't worry about that. After all, I'm sure Raiden will have a fun time cleaning me up. Now clean me up, and then we can resume from where we were last night. Yes, master. Now that Raiden and I are fully cleaned up, I decided to head out and see what Kurumi was doing. I could sense that she was still in the house, so it didn't take me long at all to find her. The moment I entered the room that Kurumi was in, Kurumi turned to me with a foxy smile. Did you have fun with Raiden, master? Haha, you can say that. Anyways, what have you been up to? I shift the topic away from my night activities. I really don't want to talk about that with Kurumi. That seems like it would be super awkward no matter what. Oh, I have been sorting through all the things I had bought yesterday, along with browsing the internet. I cringed internally hearing the last part. I asked Raiden how she was able to get the hang of sex so quickly, and she said that she used the internet. God damn it, they haven't even been here for a week and they are already being corrupted. Is Raiden still asleep? Kurumi asked. Oh, as if she would take a break. No, she's making some food for us. I see. I wonder what she is going to make. The food of this world is quite unique and delicious. Yup, the food culture in this world is super developed. What did you try yesterday? I only went to one cafe, and then had some street food. I had omeras, curry rice, a parfait, and some coffee. I see, not bad choices. All three of us should go out later. There are a bunch of things you have to try. Kurumi gave me a nod as she said, it would be my honor to go out with you for food, master. As they say in this world, I will dress to impress. Ah, she is really being infected by the internet. Not that I can blame her, the internet is great. Still, I'm surprised that people weren't panicking from Kurumi's appearance. To the uneducated she must seem similar to a cursed spirit. I know that no Jujutsu sorcerer will dare to mess with her seeing as basically all of them saw the stream of me beating Sukuna up, but I would have thought the normal people would try to do something to her out of fear. It seems my worries were for nothing though. According to Kurumi, she heard someone say a cursed spirit couldn't be as beautiful as her. These humans seriously have absolutely no sense of self-preservation. It will be interesting to see how they will adapt to everything that is happening. Japan is definitely going to have a hard time. The value of the Japanese yen has dropped considerably, people are wanting to leave, etc. Still, they aren't doing horrible, they do have their very own Satoru Gojo to make sure everything goes well. That guy might as well be an unbeatable god to the majority of this world, so he should be able to make sure nothing goes wrong until my plan bears fruit. In a few decades I'll definitely have to visit this world again to see what the world turned out like due to my tampering. I haven't even begun yet and I'm already starting to feel a bit excited. Kurumi and I continued to chat until Raiden informed us that the food was ready. Once Kurumi and I were at the table I inspected the dishes she made. A good old cheeseburger with some fries, can't go wrong with that. Raiden wasn't letting last night's activities hinder her in her duties as my maid, truly a professional maid. While I was eating I went through the list of everything I wanted to get done today. I need to replace the barriers around the Jujutsu schools, go out for some food with Raiden, and Kurumi, maybe do some shopping as well. I want to buy some gaming consoles to take back to the Cardinal world. Maybe I can find a way to make them work there. Playing video games with Milim and Veldora sounds fun. Then I gotta get the stuff on the list Rimuru sent me. I definitely want to buy a Nintendo Switch. And then there is one other thing I want to do that I forgot about in my excitement. It's something I'm somewhat ashamed of forgetting. I need to visit my mother's grave. It seems I got completely lost in the novelty of traveling worlds that I forgot about some of the more important things. I may not have loved her as a son would love a mother, but maybe more like an older sister or an aunt. She took good care of me, and even her cause of death could be related to me. Still, I'm not going to blame myself for such a thing. She was doing what she felt was right. I've had time to move on. Maybe I'll end up finding out what happened to my body as well. I'd like to take back some of the stuff I had, like some old pictures I've taken with my mother, but those are probably long gone. Sigh, well, I've got my memories at least. And then, only after I get everything I want to do in this world done, will I make my announcement. I want to do that last as a lot of chaos will start to happen. Who knows if the shops I want to go to will even be open at that point. After that, I can just relax for a bit before going back to the Cardinal world. Sounds like a good plan to me. I continued to browse social media as I ate my breakfast. Apparently the Japanese government has made some announcements a few months ago, back during the Shibuya incident. They announced that cursed spirits exist, but that they are only born in Tokyo, and then along with that everyone in Tokyo was evacuated due to Kanjaku releasing so many cursed spirits. Tokyo is an absolute ghost town at this point. That's probably why Satoru didn't set me up there. The citizens were evacuated to other ghost towns as well as some islands. Probably a wise decision, but people are starting to find out the truth about everything. What with my stream, my own announcement earlier, and the announcement that I'm going to make pretty soon is bound to mess some stuff up. I quickly sent a quick text to Satoru telling him that I can replace the barriers for the Jujutsu schools. He sent a thumbs up emoji, along with the location of both schools with Google Maps. Nice, I can use that to get the exact coordinates. I told him to meet me at the school in Tokyo shortly. I'll have to manually maintain the barriers until I place down the crystals, but that's not a big deal. I have an absurd magicule capacity now, to the point that I likely won't ever run out of magicules even without magicule breeder reactor, Maybe only in a fight against someone super strong like Milim, Guy, or the true dragons would I have to worry about running out of magicules. I quickly finished up my burger. Hey girls, I'm going to go replace some barriers for Satoru. Any of you want to tag along? Raiden responded first. I would love to accompany you, master, however the bed sheets need to be changed, along with some cleaning that needs to be done, and then I need to begin preparing your next meal. Yikes, that does sound like a lot to do. I'm also making her work more, as beings at my level don't really need to eat or drink to survive. I just do it since I enjoy it. Still, I know she enjoys serving me, so I'll leave her to it. I see. Well, what about you, Kurami? Yes, I would love to come, master. Alright, since I know you like to ride on my shoulders, why don't you shift into your fox form now? Yes, master. Once Kurami was on my shoulder, I turned to look at Raiden. After I'm done helping Satoru, want to go explore the city? Yes, master. I will make sure all my tasks have been completed upon your return. I gave her a thumbs up and teleported to the coordinates Satoru sent me. Once I arrived, I noticed a bunch of Jujutsu sorcerers' gazes jump to me. They were quickly able to recognize me though, so they didn't do anything other than give me a bow. It seems that since Tenjin's barrier which was hiding the schools is down, the Jujutsu sorcerers have to manually make sure that no one wanders into the campus. That must be a massive waste of manpower. I was completely concealing my aura, so Satoru wasn't able to sense me, though I'm sure these other Jujutsu sorcerers are probably letting Satoru know of my arrival, so I decided to just wait until he shows up. I wanted to explore the school a bit, and no one seemed to have the guts to attempt to stop me, so I just went on my way. I flew up into the sky to get a good view of the surroundings. The Tokyo Jujutsu School was surrounded by a large mountainous range. I wonder how everyone will react if I destroy it. I bet Megaman would enjoy doing such a thing. That girl tried to blow up Demon Lord Leon's kingdom on the daily. Ah, stupid intrusive thoughts, let's not cause any more mass destruction. Maybe I should try and find a dead, or empty world to have fun on, one where me and my subordinates can go wild without having to worry about the consequences. Yes, that sounds like an excellent idea. Notice, Odin has already found multiple worlds that fit the master's requirements. Ah, really? Great, I'll have to pay one of those worlds a visit sometime then. Are you able to make it do that the times between said dead world and the cardinal world sync up rather than what is happening now? Answer, yes, due to detailed analysis Odin is capable of transporting the master to other worlds without time speeding up in said world. Nice, I was just curious, but that might come in handy someday. Maybe I can connect an empty world to a room in my castle, basically adding an entire planet to my territory. I don't really need to do that, but it sounds badass. I can tell people I have my own personal planet. I imagine not many can claim the same. Apostrophe. Huh? You say something, Odin? It was just the master's imagination. I don't think so, but whatever. I felt Satoru flying up towards me. Ah, the view here is great, isn't it? Though I don't know how many times I've had to stop myself from using Hollow Purple to just destroy everything. Also, hello, Kurami. Kurami waved back at him using her paws since she was still in her fox form, but we really are similar, aren't we? Indeed, that sounds like a fun time though. I bet, still, now that you're here I'd like to ask you for a favor. Another favor, huh? I wonder what went wrong this time. Depends on what it is. Of course, I'm not sure if you are familiar with my student, Nobara, but she's kinda in a coma right now. Huh, I was wondering what happened to her. Jeet really wanted to kill everyone, huh? That's something to think about. Did Jeet creating Jujutsu Kaisen create this world? Or did he basically receive dreams of what would happen in this world and create a manga about it? Truly, life's greatest questions. If it's the former, then he might not know it, but he would basically have complete control over what happens in this world. Scary. She got a chunk of her face blown off by a cursed spirit's innate technique. You might know him, his name is Mahito. We were able to prevent her from completely passing on due to a curse technique, but the moment the technique is lifted, she will die. I see, so you want me to heal her then? That is exactly what I want. But the way Mahito's technique works is that it alters the very shape of her soul, and then her body adjusts to said change. We have no way to revert what happened to her soul, but I was hoping you did. I can take a look at her at the very least. There is a very real possibility that I can heal her. Now what should I ask for in return? There isn't really anything more I want from Satoru in exchange for my help. Hell, everything I've asked for from him I can get myself but was too lazy to do so. Still, I'm not an unreasonable dick to everyone. I can understand Satoru's plight. He has been treating me well, and I do like him, so I might as well help him. It's not like it will come at a big cost for me. I'm at a level of power where I can generally just do whatever the fuck I want and not have to worry about the consequences. Still, that doesn't mean I have to be an evil tyrant all the time. I can be a nice guy for once, plus I'm in a rather good mood after last night. I probably don't even need to use a potion. From what I'm hearing, she is still technically alive, which means her soul should still be around. I can just use the holy magic spell Resurrection, that should easily be capable of bringing her back from her comatose state, and theoretically restoring her soul to its natural form. Miracle level holy magic really can be quite broken. You can use it to bring back the dead, heal fatal injuries, seal awakened demon lord level beings, and even destroy souls. Even ultimate skill wielders with their immunity to lesser forms of magic have to be careful when facing a master of this form of magic. And since rather than using holy power, it makes use of the god's power to directly manipulate spiritrons, even monsters, and demons, two very not holy beings can use it. Sure, I don't mind helping you with Nobara after I set up the barriers. Great. Here, I know you're interested in quite a few things, so I got you this. Dada, Sukina's last finger. Huh, I thought he was at full power back when you two were fighting? Nope. He was at 19 fingers. I took the finger from Satoru's hand and stored it in my stomach. It seems to be quite similar to a Horcrux from Harry Potter, as in it has a piece of Sukina's soul in it. I'll have to feed this to Sukina whenever I return to the Cardinal World, then he can be at his highest level, and then I'll name him. I see, thanks. Now let me set up the barrier. Alright, do you need anything from me? Nah, it shouldn't take long. The barrier tension had changed the appearance of the layout of the buildings every day to hide the school's existence from the public. The barrier helps with hiding the school, but doesn't really prevent an infiltration. Now that Jujutsu Society has been exposed to the wider public, the abilities for the barrier have to be changed. For one, it has to focus on keeping people out, as well as hiding from the public. Not something hard for me to do. I clap my hands and create a simple barrier around the campus, and then use spatial magic to separate the inside of the barrier from the rest of the world. Similar to what Isolate does, I basically separated the space inside the barrier from the space outside the barrier. I did it this way due to Isolate being a skill. It will be far harder to maintain such a thing with mere crystals, spatial magic, and the barrier on the other hand isn't as high tier, though it should be more than enough for this world. The defenses I put up are rather simple, but it should get the job done. I could do the same, if not more with our Ouroboros, as space is basically my personal bitch, but I felt like it would be a bit overkill. I don't want to use one of my most powerful skills for something basic in another world that won't have any direct impact on me. Alright, done. The barrier is designed to keep people who aren't supposed to be inside it out. There is only one way to get through the barrier, so make sure you have it being monitored, but other than that I don't think anyone in this world is capable of breaking through this barrier. I kept the entrance the same as what it was before. The entrance is in the foothills of the nearby mountain. You just have to follow the stairs that have already been built in, and then you'll eventually find yourself past the barrier. Really? How does it work then? Oh, it sort of separates the space from the inside of the barrier from the outside, basically making it impossible to damage whatever is inside of the barrier unless you break the entire barrier, or find a way to sneak in. I see, that sounds interesting. Maybe I can learn to do something similar with Limitless. I don't think it's impossible, but it would definitely need a lot of practice. In my other world, a bunch of people can do something similar, so it isn't super high tier. I'm sort of seeing how it works with my 6 eyes. It's a bit hard to read how exactly you do what you do since it seems you use a different type of energy. Your 6 eyes really is a cheat, you know? Odin is a better cheat though. And yet I still can't quite understand what it is you're doing. And to think this doesn't even qualify for high tier for you. Man, I know I've told you this, but your world is scary. We then went and did the same thing at the Kyoto Jujutsu school. Alright, now that I'm done with that, might as well go get Nobara all fixed up now. Great. We've got her staying back at the Tokyo school, so we have to go back there. I instantly teleport us back to the Tokyo school, and follow Satoru to wherever Nobara is being kept. Satoru also gave me a mini tour of the school. He knows this school pretty well as he teaches here. He showed me the classrooms, the isolation chamber where Yuji and Yuta were being held for execution. The dormitory is rather nice. Each student gets a fairly large room all to themselves. Then Satoru also has a hidden room that no one with authority knows about, somewhere for him to hide out basically. You could honestly call it a man cave. It's still a nice-ass school, though that's to be expected. We eventually reached the infirmary. Hey, what's up Shoko? Ugh, what do you want Satoru? And hello Felix-sama, Kurumi-sama. Kurumi and I give her a wave. I'm pretty sure she is still traumatized by Raiden. Ah. If that's your reaction when seeing me, I'll be a bit hurt, you know? Ugh, I'm busy Satoru, what do you need? Ha. Fine, party pooper. My buddy Felix here says he should be able to heal Nobara, so could you bring her on out? She raised her brow. I see. I haven't been able to do anything for her as I'm not capable of healing souls, but it wouldn't be surprising if someone with different abilities like Felix-sama is able to heal her. My thoughts exactly. By the way, are you cool with Megumi and Yuji being here when you do your thing? Maybe it'll help cheer Megumi up? Is Megumi not feeling well or something? Well, I can't blame him. Dude was possessed by a mass murderer, and then also would have ended up in a lifelong coma if I didn't have Odin heal him. Most people wouldn't be doing too good if they were in his situation either. Yeah, sure, I don't mind. Great. Let me call them real quick then. I took a seat on the table as I waited for Yuji and Megumi to show up. I let my thoughts wander. Maybe I should summon a demon to watch over this world for me? They can make sure that nothing goes horribly wrong as well as monitor a few things for me. It'll also help test my theory if summoning demons is even possible in another world. Theoretically it should be, but realistically who knows? I can't directly sense the demon realm like I used to be able to in the cardinal world, but that might just be because the cardinal world was more deeply connected to spiritual worlds like the elemental realm and the demon realm. I can pretty easily make a body for the demon to inhabit as well. I'll have to think about it. I might just have to use a far greater amount of magicules to summon a demon, and if that doesn't work I can still breach the gap with Planeswalker. The demon realm is technically another world after all. In fact, Odin is capable of using our Ouroboros to sense a practically endless amount of dimensions, each with their own space-times. I am capable of doing something similar myself, though I would need a lot of practice. After all, just having an ultimate skill doesn't mean you have complete mastery over it. Then there was the fact that according to Odin some dimensions times were completely out of sync with the cardinal world, though that only makes sense. It seems the closer a dimension is to the cardinal world, the more their times naturally align, though with my interference I changed that. When it was explained to me it sounded incredibly headache-inducing. Now that I think about it, I could probably use Ouroboros with Odin's help to mess with multiple dimensions at once, with Magicule Breeder Reactor, and Odin who knows what my limit is? I seriously lucked out with my skill set. Satoru took a seat on the table across from me, though he seemed to be ignoring the glare Shoko was sending his way. They should be here soon, they were just getting ready when I called them. It shouldn't be long at all then, most men don't take ages to get ready, and they also live on campus. So what's up with Megumi? You said he was having a case of depresso espresso? Ahaha, I wonder how he would react if he heard that, but yeah, ever since Sukuna killed his sister, with his body and cursed technique he's been pretty depressed. Hell, the entire reason Sukuna probably did it was in order to break Megumi's will. Well, I didn't know that. Fucking Sukuna. Maybe I should just kill him? But that would be a waste of resources, plus he'd be basically a different person, I think. Sukuna, you're really making it hard to justify your continued existence. It should be fine, not like anyone will know. I think being basically mind-raped by Odin is enough punishment, or maybe not. Whatever. Well, that's something. Yup. The awkward silence was broken with the entrance of both Yuji and a depressed Megumi. Yuji gave me an excited wave. Hey Felix-sama. I heard you're able to heal Kujizaki. Is that true? Well, I'll at the very least try to. That's enough for me. Ah. I didn't see you there, Kurumi-sama. Hello. My man is way too excited, even Kurumi is looking at him oddly, and she has a fox face right now. Still she waved her paw at him. Ah, I forgot to introduce you, Felix-sama, this is Fushiguro. Fushiguro, this is Felix-sama. The guy who saved you and beat up Sukuna. And that is Kurumi-sama, his pet? I'm not sure what their relationship is, but she calls herself his pet. Megumi gave me a bow as he said, nice to meet you Felix-sama, Kurumi-sama. Thank you for your help with Sukuna and getting me my body back. Though I felt like his heart wasn't fully in it. He was grateful for sure, but that didn't change the fact that he felt upset, or sad about something. Most likely his sister's death. I remember it was said that he was really close to his sister. I'd offered to bring his sister back, but from what I heard she's dead, as in her soul has passed on, and her body was dealt with. Not much I can do about that. I do sense a spiritual realm of sorts, which is most likely the afterlife of this world. It isn't too surprising that such a thing exists, after all it was said that when Yuta released Rika from his curse that's where she went. But I don't really want to mess with that too much for obvious reasons. I wonder if my mother is up there? Hopefully she's doing good wherever she is. She was a good mom. I'll have to visit her grave. No problem, I was curious about the King of Curses, that's all. It doesn't hurt that he's a shithead either. Satoru giggled as he said, I wonder how he would react to being called that. That would be funny indeed. From what I got of his personality he'd probably praise someone for having the balls to insult him, but then behead them right after. That sounds about right. Are they always like this? Asked Megumi. Aha, Yeah, I forgot to tell you that Gojo-sensei and Felix-sama are related, so they get along pretty well. Ah, is that so? He seemed familiar, but it must be nothing. What a lackluster response. Dude is deep into his depression. Maybe a prank will cheer him up? That or make him hate me. Oh well, it sounds like something fun to do later. Still, he said I looked familiar? Notice, it is likely that the individual known as Megumi is the one that the girl the master saved the day he died in this world was calling out. The girl looks similar to the sister of Megumi Fushiguro shown in your memories. Ah, what the fuck? What kind of coincidence is that? That must be like a less than 1% chance kind of thing. The master is correct, the possibility of such a thing is infinitesimally small. Man, so I saved his sister from taking a potentially life-threatening hit, but she ended up dying later on anyway. She must have some really horrible luck. I looked at Megumi as I said, you said I looked familiar? By any chance are you the Megumi that girl was calling out to when I got hit by that vehicle? Megumi's eyes widened as he said, no way? I'll take that as a yes then. Yuji looked clueless, but Satoru seemed to figure it out. He is Megumi's guardian last I remember, so it makes sense that he knows about that incident. Ha. When we did a DNA test on you, since you looked so much like a Gojo, we were so confused to think that was you. So they did a DNA test on me, huh? That makes sense. Satoru would have probably gotten involved since the incident was related to one of his charges, and then on top of that I look like a Gojo. Man, what a coincidence. So you're the guy that saved Megumi's sister and died, huh, Felix? It seems so. Dang, the odds of that are super low. Megumi gave me a perfect 90 degrees bow and said, thank you for saving my sister. Haha, it's no problem. Honestly, I'm happy with the way things turned out. I'm not sure if Yuji told you, but it's thanks to that death that I've been having the time of my life. Who knows if I would have been reincarnated if my life reached its natural conclusion, and even if I did, the time period may be off, I may be reborn long after Rimuru even founded Tempest. All the relationships I've built likely won't happen the same way, basically everything would be different. I probably wouldn't be absolutely overpowered either. That situation is definitely not something that I want. That's if my life even reached its natural conclusion. With all those cursed spirits that were running around, I might have gotten killed by one of those. My interference in the fight between Satoru and Sukuna may have even saved Satoru's life. Who knows if he was prepared for Sukuna to cut through infinity like he did. Still, thank you very much. It's thanks to you that I've got to spend many more years with her. Ah, now I'd feel bad if I pranked him too hard. Dude is beyond grateful. Which I guess makes sense, but still. Since Megumi was involved, maybe he knows what happened with my body. Alright, your thanks is accepted, but do you know what happened to my old body? It's probably been decomposing, but maybe my bones are still around. I wonder what I could do with them. If this was a far more spiritual world, I'm sure my old body could be used to curse me or something, but thankfully that isn't possible. Still, maybe I can put my old skeleton to use, maybe make an autonomous golem out of it. It just seems super badass, having my former skeleton guarding my bedroom or something back in the cardinal world. Or maybe I'm slowly going insane? I wonder if a bone golem made from my bones would have magic circuits? They probably would, seeing as they won't be capable of channeling magic without them. Magic circuits are basically a pseudo-circulatory system found in basically all magic and spiritual life forms, including me. For normal humans, and demi-humans, their magical power is stored and circulated through their blood, but us magical and spiritual beings are a bit different due to our abnormal physiques. We have magic circuits to circulate our magic power through our bodies. It's even theoretically possible to interfere with someone's circuits with curses and an advanced level of fighting spirit, which basically stops them from using magicules in most cases. I don't need to worry about that though. Harming my magic circuits is nigh impossible unless someone has the magic power to do so. I have an absurd amount of magic power constantly circulating throughout my body. In order to interfere with that, someone has to be able to withstand, basically, all my power. Now I'm curious, I should definitely look into that. Still, my earlier plan of using my old skeleton only works if I wasn't cremated, which is generally the standard for Japanese burials. I should definitely ask Megumi or Satoru what happened to my body. Satoru is the one who responds. We had your body cremated and buried next to your mother. Ah, well, there goes that plan. My dreams of having a golem made out of my former body have been destroyed before they can even truly take off. Well, at least my body was treated properly. Ah, I see, thanks. He waved me off. All good. It's the least I could have done. Now that that's over, I clapped and said, now let's get this started. I don't need anything beyond myself to fix up Nobara, so bring her on out. I'll go get her for you, Felix-sama. Could you help me, Yuji-kun? Said Shoko. Yuji gave a salute. Yes, ma'am. As I waited for them to bring her out, I continued to chat with Satoru while ignoring the aura of gloom Megumi was giving out. Honestly, a cursed spirit might be born from him at this point. I noticed Megumi was about to try and say something, but it looked like he changed his mind. Now that won't do. What were you trying to tell me, Megumi? He looked surprised that I caught him, though he really shouldn't be so surprised. He shook his head. It's nothing. Now you've got me interested. What is it? I won't stop bugging you until you tell me. I heard him mumble something about me being like Satoru, but I ignored that. Fine, I wanted to know how you got so strong. I watched a video of your fight with Sukuna. If it could even be called a fight, it looked like you were practically toying with him. I tilted my head and considered his question. I guess it makes sense that he wants to know how to get stronger. He just got possessed by this world's boogeyman, said boogeyman, then killed his sister with his power with him helpless to stop him. It would make sense that Megumi is more focused on obtaining more power, though Megumi's greatest asset, Mahiruga, is gone permanently. If I remember correctly, when a Shikigami of the 10 Shadows technique dies, they cannot come back. Without Mahiruga, Megumi probably won't even be able to match Kido, though it might be possible if he trains his ass off. However, at this point Satoru is out of his league completely. He still might be capable of making it to special grade though, which I assume is the level of strength he wants to achieve. Well, just like everyone else, I trained and got some lucky opportunities. Now that I think about it, Fortunate One had a lot to do with how lucky I got, meeting Milim at that exact time and evolving. Then there was thankfully the barrier around Tempest that prevented the souls from leaving, allowing Rimuru and I to bring everyone back to life. And then I'm sure there were some more subtle things that Fortunate One has done that I have not noticed. Ah, that doesn't help me at all. Haha, well, what you want to know isn't an easy answer. Strength isn't easy to obtain for those not born with it. There are those who are born strong, like Satoru was, at least concerning this world. Then there are the primordial demons, born at the top of the demon hierarchy until I showed up, and I'm sure the primordial angels are similar. Hell, there is the fucking true dragons. They are by default at the top of the world basically. Their very existence allows them to compete against those with ultimate skills even if they themselves don't have one. Even I was born as an incredibly strong lesser demon with enough power to destroy multiple villages. And once I became a greater demon and copied the old man's skills, I would be basically invincible in this world. Spatial severing is basically the direct counter to infinity after all. But even though my ascension to my current level of power happened in a relatively quick period, it was by no means easy, even if Milim's naming and my harvest festival were key to my strength. I trained my ass off back in the demon realm, sparred with Milim all the time after I met her. I always tried to obtain new skills, and then I had to massacre thousands of people and use their souls as fuel to ascend myself. It might not be the most conventional method of getting stronger when compared to some of the methods in other worlds. As far as I know, there isn't any sort of evolutions or skills available in other worlds like there is in the cardinal world. The only reason I was able to acquire skills and evolve in the demon realm was due to its metaphysical connection to the cardinal world. I imagine it is the same for other worlds connected to the cardinal world as well. However, there is still one thing I think is in common with every single person who manages to reach a level that can be called strong is willpower. You can evolve skills through pure willpower, beat someone mightier than you with willpower, and handle grueling training through willpower. In the end, willpower is key. It might sound corny, but one of the most essential things is willpower. With enough willpower, as long as you are smart, you can become incredibly strong. Now your options might be limited as you don't have access to your ace, Mahiruga anymore, but you have plenty of other Shikigami in your arsenal. I remember Sukuna was able to use the abilities of your Shikigami himself. For example, he made that beam of water. Start trying to learn that. Ah. That also doesn't help me at all except for the last part. Ah, maybe I'm not cut out for teaching then? I waved him off. Well, that's what you're going to get from me. Sigh, just like Gojo. Well, I am his cousin. I heard a door open, and out came Yuji and Shoko. They were rolling a bed of some sort. That must be Nobara. They covered her with a cloth from head to toe, which makes sense if there is a gaping hole in her head. They set her to the side as I approached her. Satoru, Yuji, Megaman, and Shoko were all paying attention to what I was doing. I analyzed her. It seems she was injured by Mahito. The very shape of her soul was changed, but I should be able to fix that up with miracle-level holy magic. I removed the cloth from her face. She was missing a decent chunk of the left side of her face, including her eye. That must have hurt without pain nullification. It seems she's completely nude under the cloth as well, though I'm not going to peek. I have standards after all. Now how should I do this? I could use a potion to heal her physical body, and then use the holy magic spell Resurrection to bring her back fully and heal her soul. Though it might be better to use the spell Regeneration rather than a potion. I may have a bunch of potions, but that doesn't mean I want to waste them. Notice, The holy magic spell Resurrection also fully heals the target as well as bringing them back from the dead if their soul is still present. The master only needs to use Resurrection to bring the individual known as Nobara back. Ah, I see. Thanks Odin. I was never super big on holy magic. I gathered the holy power through my connection as God with my subordinates. Without such a thing it would be much harder for me to use holy power as I am a demonic being. I set my hand on her heart and manipulate the spiritrons around us. Resurrection. And then in front of our eyes Nobara regenerated the missing chunk of her face. Whoa. Yuji seemed surprised, but still happy. No way. While Megumi was just looking on in shock. Ah, I knew you could do it, Felix. Thank you for the vote of confidence, Satoru. The regeneration itself looks similar to that of reverse curse technique. They all watched with bated breaths as Nobara slowly opened her eyes. Ah, hey guys. Yuji tackled her with a hug. Kujaizaki. Megumi looked extremely shocked, though he looked like he had some hope in his eyes, maybe in regards to his sister. I better get rid of that before it festers. It would be needlessly cruel to allow him to think I can bring her back at this point. I put my hand on his shoulder. This method only worked because she was still technically alive. Her soul hadn't yet passed on, so drop whatever you're thinking. His head drooped down a bit. I see. I looked towards Satoru. Well, now that my job is done I'm going to go have some fun. He gave me a thumbs up. Alright, please don't make me go broke. And thanks for healing Nobara up. I won't forget this favor. Haha, I'll try, and don't worry about it. Healing Nobara wasn't all that difficult. Now let's go pick up Raiden and go shopping. Hopefully she's done with whatever it is she's doing. Yeah, Shoko is definitely traumatized if that very minute full body shiver when I mentioned Raiden is any indication. I gave Kurumi a pet as I was walking away. Kurumi gave my cheek a lick, which I assume is her way of saying yes. Chapter 61, Summoning. As I teleport back to the place we are all staying I consider who else is fucking dead. I didn't even know Nobara's status until Satoru brought it up, so now I'm wondering who else could be gone. It has become increasingly clear that this world isn't one that will end with the protagonist winning and then living out his dream life. Satoru would have died, or at the very least been fatally injured without my intervention. Who knows if he would have been able to heal himself with reverse curse technique. I haven't seen or heard anyone mention Nanami, and he is a first-grade sorcerer, so he is most likely dead. I know Mekamaru got killed by Mahito back at the start of the Shibuya incident. Well, at least that blue-haired chick that he was trying to save is still alive. Would have been tragic if she still died. I haven't heard anyone mention Todo, so he might be dead. Maybe I should ask Yuji? Yup, that sounds good. I send him a quick text asking everyone of relevance who has died. As I was considering who else could be dead, the thought that maybe these guys could train to get stronger was stuck in my head. I ended up thinking back to Megumi's question. This world is pretty fucking tragic. There isn't a way to increase the innate cursed energy capacity you are born with. Even in the cardinal world it's possible to increase your magicule capacity and magic power. Hell, people are restricted based on what innate technique they are born with. It can either be strong or weak. Megumi was said to have the potential to rival Satoru. Hell, a past 10 Shadows wielder killed a Limitless and 6 Eyes wielder, though that was likely only due to Mayharuga. Potential doesn't mean shit in the here and now. Still, maybe increasing the things that magic power relies on might have an effect on sorcerers. Magic power isn't a specific energy in of itself, but the combination of the material body's energy, the spiritual body's energy, and even the soul's innate energy. Increasing any one of those can increase the quality and power of your magic power. Magic power is similar to stamina in the sense that running low on it can cause physical exhaustion or mental lethargy. It can be recovered pretty easily. Sleeping and eating are the most common ways of doing so. Of course, for those like me and Rimuru, we can metabolize an excess amount of magicules into energy, which results in rapid restoration of magic power. The only condition is that you must have a sufficient tolerance towards magicules. Along with that, whenever someone is utilizing their magic power, it can leak out of your body and into the surroundings in the form of waves. This is a pretty common way to intimidate someone. Megumi doesn't utilize magic power though. After all, it's what is used when manipulating magicules to create magic, when manipulating holy power, when manipulating spiritrons, all of it uses magic power. But maybe it will still have an effect on cursed energy, though I feel like past Jujutsu sorcerers should have tried to improve their material body, so maybe I'll have to come up with something else. I'm curious about what direction a Jujutsu sorcerer will evolve with some of my guidance. I'm becoming kind of like a mad scientist with all the shit I want to do. Oh well. Jujutsu sorcerers likely don't have a method to improve their spiritual body though, so maybe I can come up with one and pass it on. After all, the stronger these guys get, the more fun I'll have when I eventually return. Hell, these guys might actively avoid improving their spiritual body if tension is anything to go by. Though I'll have to put some thought into it if I decide to do that. The soul in general is incredibly complicated. I had to have Odin dumb it down for me to understand what the fuck she was talking about. It's basically made up of a few layers. The innermost part of the soul is known as the ego, which acts as the source of one's intention and will. The ego is basically the essence of an individual. It establishes who you are through your memories and sense of self. Based on the ego, one can be awarded a unique skill, as they are basically born from their user, born from their memories, dreams, and will. That's why unique skills are sometimes described as the shape of the mind. Ultimate skills are also stored in the ego, that's why they generally can't be stolen in most cases. For Odin to steal an ultimate skill, she would have to fight tooth and nail for it, something that generally isn't worth it when it is far easier to just copy someone's ultimate skill. The ego is then surrounded by a supercluster of infants, the smallest particle, and are contained in all matter throughout all of existence. Even in skills, their mass is as close to zero as possible. Odin wasn't able to tell me much more about them as she was still in the process of analyzing them herself, something only possible due to the environment of stomach. All she was able to tell me was that the ability to alter, combine, and abolish skills is due to Odin being able to manipulate infants at a super limited level. Odin isn't capable of directly interacting with them just yet, only sort of guiding them slightly. Anyways, the ego is surrounded by a supercluster of infants that basically serves as the core of any living being. This core serves as the container for the ego as well as the recording device for information. The core is then surrounded by a bunch of spiritrons, which acts as the source of power. This is what I call the soul energy, though it's more of an energy crystal. These three aspects, the ego, the core, and the energy crystal, work together and form a cohesive mechanism similar to a living cell, which is then covered by the astral body. The astral body basically translates the intention of one's soul and relays it to the spiritual body, along with protecting the ego, core, and energy crystal. Of course, the astral body usually needs a medium to preserve it, or else the astral body will eventually dissolve and release one's soul to pass on. I'm not sure if there is a way to increase your soul energy other than evolution. Each living being is born with a base amount of soul energy, but based on strength and evolution, the quality and quantity of soul energy can dramatically increase. I have an absurd amount of soul energy as a being with divinity, along with my status as an awakened demon lord. My soul energy can probably only be matched by Guy and surpassed by the true dragons. Those guys are busted as fuck, and that's me saying it. In raw stats, I don't think anyone surpasses them. Soul energy is incredibly important. It's what is used to fuel the activation of skills after all. Soul energy and magicules are both utilized when using skills. Skills are formed out of magicules when one's power and desire come into alignment, though there is a cost. One's magicule capacity is permanently lowered as fuel for said skill. Magicules aren't difficult for the current me to recover, and even if it was harder to recover, I don't need to worry about that. I have enough magicules to recreate all the ultimate skills I have analyzed multiple times over. But I don't really think that's a good idea. I don't want to strain my soul more than I need to. I'm not eager to relive what I felt when I first copied Satanale from Milim. Along with that, Odin is able to optimize basically all my energies, basically making it so I lose far less than normal. Even without magicule breeder reactor, I would still basically never truly run out of any sort of energy I make use of, similar to how Satoru can't really run out of cursed energy due to his 6 eyes. Unfortunately, Odin isn't capable of increasing the quality of my magic power directly, only making sure that I don't ever run out of it. Still, thank you for teaching me all this, Odin-sensei. Odin is simply completing its duty. Always so humble. Now enough of that boring stuff. Where's my maid, Gojo Satoru? Satoru looked on as Yuji continued to hug his other student Nobara. He really took her loss hard, especially since it was right after Yuji watched Nanami be killed. He shook his head to get rid of those thoughts. At the very least, Nobara survived. Satoru thought Nanami would be happy with that. Megumi seemed a bit glum, but he was still incredibly shocked. After all, Felix did what should be impossible. He healed a soul that Mihido had transfigured. It wasn't lost on him what Felix said just before he healed Nobara. He said resurrection. Going by that, theoretically Felix should be capable of bringing back the dead. At least that's what he would have thought if he didn't hear what Felix said to Megumi. Such an ability is bound to have some restrictions, so he wasn't surprised by what Felix said. Still, Felix didn't look drained whatsoever after basically reviving Nobara from her near-death state. He reached out to pull Yuji back. He was practically suffocating Nobara at this point. Now Yuji, I know you're happy that Nobara is okay, but give the girl some room. She just woke up from a coma after all. Ah, right, sensei. He turned towards Shoko, who was already doing some checks on Nobara. Is anything wrong with her? As far as I can tell, her body is perfectly healed. Not a single bone is misaligned. Her body is quite literally perfectly healed, which is impossible. As we live, our bones shift slightly, Whether that is due to our posture, or something else. But as far as I can tell, she is perfect. Ah, I feel amazing too, like I'm full of energy, I feel like I'm on top of the world. Is she in a state similar to when he first learned reverse curse technique? He remembered the time vividly, it all felt like a fever dream. I see, well that's good then, you will probably have to get used to your new body condition though. Indeed she will. Man, it must be a blue moon for Shoko to agree with him on something. Now how should he repay Felix for this? He didn't think he could give Felix anything that he couldn't already acquire himself, so what's something that Felix might like? Aha! He can show him all the best sweets stores. Yup, he's sure Felix will like them. Sensei? What exactly happened? I remember I was fighting Mahito with the Tadori, and then it all went blank. Now he has to explain everything that happened. I headed towards where I sensed Raiden. It seems she is in the kitchen, probably preparing for lunch or dinner, hopefully dinner since I plan to take everyone out to eat lunch. Raiden. Oh Raiden. She appeared in front of me with a trail of lightning being left behind her. Yes, master. Are you ready to go out? Yes, master. I have changed the bed sheets, and prepared for your next meal. Nice, good job, you should work on training up some more maids so you have more free time. Or are you already doing that? Indeed you are correct, master, some dark elves had offered some time back to be your maid, I had not informed you yet since they were not ready to serve you. I have been training them to the best of my ability, by the time they are ready they will be the perfect maids for you. And then they can take care of the more basic duties while I serve you directly. I give her a thumbs up, you do that. Kurumi took this chance to jump off my shoulder and change back into her humanoid form. Let me change my clothes before we leave, master. Alright. Hopefully she doesn't take super long. I took a seat on the sofa. Would you like me to relieve you, master? Didn't she give me a blowjob just this morning? Have I awoken something in her? Still, I'm not going to say no. Yes please. As she squatted down in front of me I placed a barrier around us so no sound is leaked out, along with preventing anyone from sensing us. After all, it would be incredibly awkward if Kurumi sensed Raiden sucking me off. I could almost see the hearts in her eyes as she removed my pants leaving me in my underwear. Raiden slowly moved closer to my crotch and took a deep breath causing her to go cross-eyed. Holy shit, she is lewd as hell. What has the internet done to you? She moved her hand to slightly grip my bulge as she continued to breathe in, though I noticed another one of her hands trailing down and under her skirt. Now Raiden, aren't you supposed to be serving me? Her eyes regained focus. Ah. I'm sorry, master. You just smelled so good. Does she have a smell fetish or something? I'm not sure what the actual term for that is, but hot. She pulled down my underwear and was smacked right in the face by my half-chub. Ah. She gave the tip a quick kiss, and then immediately opened her mouth and took my cock deep into her throat while looking into my eyes. I could see her eyes start to glaze over, though she never stopped playing with herself. I could feel her throat muscles massage my shaft causing me to groan, something that seemed to only motivate her further. She continued to force more and more down her throat until eventually her lips reached the base of my pelvis. I could feel her tongue lick the underside of my cock as she moved her head back and forth. Tears were starting to form in Raiden's eyes, along with her blush deepening, but I could tell Raiden was loving this. She's a super sub-B maid after all. She might not be a sub-B masochistic pain slut like Lalatina is, but she does enjoy it when I am more forceful. It's basically in the job description. Both Lalatina and Raiden have their own charm, but their devotion to me is almost unmatched, probably only matched by Sako, Arcuaid, Megaman, and Kurumi's devotion to me. But demons are like that in general, incredibly devoted once they find a master to serve, which is incredibly convenient. Though earning the allegiance of a powerful demon is a feat on its own. As Raiden continued to slurp on my cock as if it was the most delicious thing she's tasted, I placed my hand on her head and used my sex magic to increase the pleasure she was feeling from playing with herself, and the blowjob itself. This girl is really way too lewd. She was deriving pleasure from sucking me off. In fact, she could probably come just from giving me a blowjob, but it's also hot as hell, so I'm not complaining. Thanks to the sex magic, it didn't take long at all for her to come. She moaned even with my dick down her throat. MMPH. She slowly pulled back and said, "Wah, MMPH. Would you like me to? I'll serve you with my breasts, master." You'll never hear me say no to such a question. Those fat tits of yours are amazing. Raiden managed to blush even harder than she was before. Feel free to make use of my breasts whenever you wish, master. Don't worry, I will. Raiden slowly stripped out of her maid attire, leaving herself in just her sexy lingerie. Maybe we can buy her some more later today. Then she unhooked her bra and revealed her beautiful tits to the open air. I could see her cute little nipples were hard as diamonds, along with a trail of liquid leaking down from her crotch leaving her panties soaked. She kneeled down between my legs once again. I could feel her exhale onto my dick, and from the way her eyes crossed, I'm sure she could smell it. She didn't let the smell distract her for long though. She gave the tip another kiss before she used some of her drool to lubricate her breasts. Soon enough I felt the warmth of her tits envelop me. Such a feeling was practically divine, causing me to groan out. "Ah, you smell so good, master." I'm not sure what I'm supposed to say to that. I guess I'll just wing it. "Only a lewd maid like you would like the smell of my dick. I bet if I used you only for your body, and didn't care for your pleasure, you would be happy, wouldn't you?" "MMMPH, yes master, please use my body as you wish." After saying that, she began to lick the top of my dick that was still peeking out through her breasts. So tasty. "Alright, let's hurry up, Kurumi won't take too much longer." "Oh. Why master? You lewd maid, you don't even care if your colleague and friend find you in this state?" "Ah, she's just jealous, she wants to serve you just like I do." "Really? Even Kurumi? Has my non-existent harem plan succeeded?" "Well, I technically already have a harem. There is Sako, Lalitina and Raiden. Arcuade and Megaman have also shown interest." "Go me." I could feel my orgasm approaching and made no effort to hold it back. "It's coming, Raiden. Make sure to swallow it all, yes master," is all she got out before she completely swallowed the tip of my cock. I could see her gulp down more and more of my seed, but she didn't swallow it all. Once I was done coming, she slowly released my cock and opened her mouth to show me her mouth full of cum, and then she swallowed and opened her mouth again. What a slutty maid. Such a sight was enough to get me raring to go for more, but I knew we were short on time. "Ah, thank you for the meal, master." I rolled my eyes at her slutty maid antics. "Alright, clean yourself up, Kurumi should be ready soon." "Yes master." I admired Raiden's practically fully nude form as she used magic to clean herself up, though she did still look a bit dazed. She ended up turning around and bending forward to pick up her maid outfit off the floor, and I couldn't help myself. I gave her thick ass a slap. "Oh, would you like to touch me more, master?" she said in a seductive tone. "Ah. She did that on purpose, didn't she? Damn her and her lewd maid antics. Maybe tonight, Raiden, even you know we have other things to do today." She calmed down a bit and looked at me apologetically. "Ah, you are right, master, I apologize for distracting you. I let my desires get the better of me. I shall endeavor to become an even more perfect maid for you." "It's fine, it's not your fault that your body is so lewd and hard to resist." She blushed and said, "Ah, thank you for the compliment, master, feel free to make use of me whenever you wish." She says that same thing every time. Does she want me to bend her over when she is cleaning or something? Well, that's something for another time. I browsed through the shirts that were available in this store. This store was more for casual wear, so I'm not going to find anything super fancy here, but that's fine. I don't really need any more fancy clothing. I have the suits that Satoru left for me in the closet of my room, then I have the stuff that Shuna made for me, and her stuff was top tier. I have outfits made out of A-rank monster skin. It doesn't get much more fancy than that. And if I ever want something, I can just recreate it with material creation. This shirt looks fun. It's a super ugly buttoned Hawaiian shirt. It would be funny if I show up to a super important event with that on, unbuttoned, leaving my bare chest open. Now that's true style. I grab a few different ugly Hawaiian shirts. I need to have variety after all. "Master, could you please tell me which of these looks best on me?" "Yeah, sure, Kurumi." Kurumi seems to have become addicted to shopping. She just bought thousands of dollars worth of stuff yesterday, and now she's buying more. Truly, a high-maintenance girl, though she's only doing this since we have the money for it. She wouldn't do such a thing back in the cardinal world, as money can buy you far more important things than mere clothes in that world. Plus we have Shuna who makes us whatever we want for free, and the stuff she makes is super high quality. But I think Kurumi is just enjoying the novelty of shopping. Kurumi was in the changing room, so I was waiting for her to come out and show me her fit, but I was surprised when she said, "Master, please come in, I don't wish to be seen by anybody else like this." I was somewhat confused but did what she asked anyway. Boy, was I surprised at what I saw when I entered the changing room, though I really shouldn't have been. Kurumi was left in only her underwear, and not even her own underwear, but she had a bunch laying around that she seemed to want to try on. If you keep staring at me like that I will blush, master." Ugh, these teasing seductresses. Well, if she wants to tease me, then I can do it right back. "You look amazing, Kurumi. I think the set of red panties and bra suits you, though black and white would also probably look good on you." She blushed as she said, "Ah, thank you, master, that is all I wished to know." I took that as my K to leave. I wonder what Raiden is looking at? I already have the clothes that I want to buy, so I'm just waiting on those two now. It didn't take me long to find her, and for some reason I'm not surprised when I find her asking one of the employees for a maid outfit. A maid outfit? Like for cosplay? Unfortunately we don't sell anything like that, miss. Cosplay? No, this is not cosplay, I am my master's maid. Ah. So you're a real-life maid then? There aren't many of those around anymore. Your master must be quite something if he is able to have such a beautiful woman as his maid. You're more beautiful than supermodels. Indeed, my master is the greatest. Alright, enough of that, I have a big enough ego as it is. Did you find anything you want, Raiden? Both the employee and my maid turned towards me. Yes, master, I found some lingerie I think you will enjoy, along with some leggings, pantyhose, and some other stuff I think you will like. I was hoping to see what sort of maid outfits they have, but unfortunately they don't sell any. Does this girl have no shame? Ah, so you must be this master she keeps talking about. The employee awkwardly said. She bowed. Hello, my name is Sayuri, thank you for shopping with us. I ended up chatting with the employee while we waited for Kurumi to finish, as Raiden was already done picking everything she wanted. Thanks to Sayuri I was able to learn a bit about how the common people are taking everything that's going on in Japan. She's apparently the daughter of the owner of this store and just works here part-time. I decided to get her opinion on everything that has been happening. She seems to just be a common girl, so maybe I can learn a little bit about what normal people are thinking. She said that at first her and her family didn't really believe the news when the Japanese government made an announcement to evacuate Tokyo, and revealed the news about cursed spirits. Of course the government didn't reveal everything, they just said that cursed spirits are only born in Tokyo so the entire country doesn't panic. Of course that plan failed the moment people discovered the colonies across Japan that Kenjaku made for the culling games, along with discovering that Shibuya was practically wiped off the map. There really isn't a way to explain that away. If the government said they were testing a weapon there would be an absurd amount of outrage. After all, a bunch of people died in Shibuya. After that people began to panic. I'm surprised it wasn't worse than what I heard. After all, Sukuna really fucked Shibuya up from what I've heard. And then came the live stream of Satoru vs Sukuna that was released. People began to fear for their lives at that point. After all, Sukuna and Satoru's fight must have looked absolutely absurd to the common person. She then began to talk about when I showed up. It seems she's a bit of a fangirl of mine, though I'm not particularly sure why. It seems good looks really do all the work. It's a good thing I used the transform skill I copied from Luminous. Along with that, I haven't taken the illusion on my sclera off at all since I've came to this world. Black sclera would probably look practically demonic to most people after all, though I could probably get rid of my black sclera altogether if I wanted to. Raiden seemed to gain a positive impression of Sayuri the moment she began talking about me. Seriously, this girl. Anyways, Sayuri said that while most are scared, they've calmed down slightly now that it looks like the obvious bad guy, Sukuna, has been defeated. Most of them seem to trust their governments to handle everything. They are under the false impression that they are safe, and that their normal lives won't be disturbed. It is quite foolish to think that their mundane governments will retain power over everyone now that the supernatural has come to light. There will always be those that seek to disturb whatever system is in place. Either way, with or without my intervention, the world would have changed without Tenjin's barriers. I'm simply making it change faster, and in a much more controlled manner. The government pushed all the blame for Shibuya onto Sukuna, quite the different approach from the Jujutsu higher-ups. After all, they blamed Satoru. Not a very smart move, but apparently some of them were in Kenjaku's pocket, so not totally unexpected. The people are still buying the excuse of cursed spirits only being born in Tokyo, as no one has said or proven contrary, so there isn't too much panic. Of course there are those that are calling out bullshit, but the majority of people have been going about their days relatively normally. Still, there is an undercurrent of tension as everyone knows something is going to change soon. The Jujutsu sorcerers have been doing a good job of taking care of Kenjaku's cursed spirits, so most don't truly know what's going on in the background. I assume most common citizens of other countries are in a similar situation of not knowing what the fuck is going on. Though that's going to change once I make my announcement. I plan to reveal the truth to the world for my game, I mean my experiment after all. We ended up leaving after paying for our stuff once Kurumi was finished. I settled down on the couch after our shopping trip. We ended up eating an early dinner as well since I wanted Raiden and Kurumi to try some of the local cuisine. I checked my phone to see if Yuji responded. Well, damn. No Bauraku Jizaki. She took a deep breath as she tried to calm herself down. Sensei, Fushiguro, and Itadori just finished giving her a recap on everything that happened since Mihito. They ended up leaving her alone to rest for a little bit after they saw that she needed some time to process everything. She couldn't believe it when she first found out that Sukuna basically erased Shibuya from the map. That kind of power was almost unimaginable to her, and to think there was someone who was capable of toying with him. She was thankful to her mysterious savior, but still. That amount of power was astonishing. Then there was everything else that happened. the culling games, all the cursed spirits that were released into Tokyo, all the new sorcerers that Kenjaku basically created and incarnated. She was gone for only a little while, but the world changed so much. Nanami-san was dead. To think someone as strong as Todo was missing an arm, though he lost it against Mahito, so it isn't too unexpected. Mekamaru is dead. She wasn't close to him, but still. Not to mention that Fushiguro turned into Sukana's vessel and ended up facing Sensei in a 1 versus 1, at least before her savior intervened. Principal Yaga is gone. At least they got a new special grade available in Sensei's other student, Yuta Okatsu. Some people were just born with all the luck. Then Mahito is dead, same with that volcano head, and that pre-cursed spirit. Itadori got a new brother, and so much more. The world was changing, and if she wasn't able to adapt, she would be left behind by the world. Still, she would get up, and keep fighting. She was a Jujutsu sorcerer after all. I yawned as I looked around the room. After we got back yesterday, I tried what Raiden was trying to make all day. She made a strawberry tiramisu, and boy was it delicious. I'm glad that she is learning about some new dishes from this world. People are incredibly creative when it comes to food in this world. In the cardinal world, far less people focus on cooking. After all, it's mostly about surviving for them. They have an enemy in monsters and demon lords that they have to constantly worry about, so they have far less time to pursue more pleasurable things, like cooking delicious food. I looked to my side and wasn't surprised when I saw Raiden sleeping on my arm. She must be really tired after our late night activities if she isn't up yet. She's usually up early in the morning doing her maid duties. Oh well, she could use a break. She's far too hardworking and doesn't take any days off. I didn't want to wake Raiden up, so I let her rest on my arm. I don't have anything urgent I need to do anyway. All I need to do is further refine my plan for what I'm going to do later on. Changing the entire world like I'm planning to isn't something that's done overnight. I need to put some thought into it. It's the least I owe the people of this world. I can do that from bed, however. Maybe I can leave some weapons hidden somewhere. Make a treasure hunt out of it? They definitely won't be high-grade weapons, probably mostly special-grade weapons which usually just have one ability, usually some kind of magic ability like being able to send slashes of flames at an opponent. And then maybe I can leave a few rare-grade weapons lying around. Unique grade might be going a bit too far. But leaving a few unique grade weapons sounds fun, even if they will most likely mess up the power dynamic of this world. I'll create them with material creation so they won't be as good as a weapon forged by a blacksmith who is a master of their craft, but it'll be more than enough for this world. I haven't gotten to use my own katana much at all, unfortunately. It's super busted, as any god rank weapon is bound to be. But I just don't really need to use it as I'm capable of handling most threats on my own, and using it for something basic just feels like an insult. Hell, that weapon has gotten so infused with my aura since part of it is made from my previous vessel, along with it soaking up my magicules in my stomach. Now it is capable of cutting space apart without even trying just by moving it. No barrier is capable of defending against it. It's also got some more abilities I haven't gotten the chance to mess around with, still I have a feeling it will get its chance to shine at some point. Now where should I hide the weapons I plan to leave lying around? I could make a dungeon, and flare my magicules, an aura to the max which will cause monsters to spawn, but those guys will be far too strong for this world. I'm capable of birthing full-on disaster-class monsters if I allow my power to seep into the surroundings for long enough, something far beyond basically everyone in this world. A normal treasure hunt seems a bit boring, but I can do a few like that. I'll just have to leave a bunch of evil traps on the way. Holding a competition could be interesting, but I don't want to get too involved with the management of everything. That sounds like a lot of work, so maybe not. Maybe I can just toss all the work onto someone else, maybe say Toru? Well, that's a worst-case scenario. Hopefully I can figure something out before it gets to that. Master? I turned to my side and came face to face with a wide-awake Raiden. Good morning, Raiden. Did you sleep well? Thank you for allowing me to serve you last night. This girl. Haha, I should be saying the same to you. You have one rockin' bod. She blushed as she said, thank you, master. Now I must fulfill my duties as your maid. I am already slightly behind due to sleeping for too long. I admired Raiden's form as she got up and put on her maid outfit. She was asleep in only one of my shirts after all, with nothing underneath which allowed me to see the imprint of her nipples. Unfortunately, I didn't want to distract my maid too much, so I let her get ready. Once Raiden was out of the room, I got up and stretched as well. Kurumi was still sleeping in her room. That girl likes to sleep in whenever she can. Must be a fox thing. Now I don't have all that much to do today. Maybe I can try out that demon summoning and see if it works in this world normally. If it doesn't, I can always use Aura Bros to reach into the demon realm and summon a demon. It could be fun to spread the method of summoning demons. I'm sure that will create a bunch of fun chaos. Demon summoning is mostly based on chance. Sure, the summoner's intent has a slight influence, but generally it is pretty random. I wonder how the old man is doing? He said he just wanted to find somewhere to relax and not have to constantly watch over his back. I'm not really sure how he's going to manage such a thing in the demon realm. That place can be as traitorous as it gets, especially now that there are no primordials residing there anymore. Guy has Vert, and Blue, along with him being a primordial himself. I have Blink, John, and Violet. And Rimuru has Noir. The demon realm is bound to be in chaos right now. I doubt any of the primordials' direct territory have been messed with. All demons know not to fuck with the primordials, but other than that they are probably free to do whatever they want now that the primordials aren't around to make sure no one oversteps. Still, maybe that's a good thing. Some more powerful demons might be born. I doubt any will reach the other named primordials levels, let alone my or Guy's level. After all, demons' growth is restricted at a certain point. They need to be named or incarnated in the world for that limiter to be broken. I personally never reached that point as I was summoned as a greater demon. But reaching the heights of an unnamed moss should be possible, after a lot of hard work of course. That guy was the strongest in the demon realm other than the primordials, and over 10,000 years old. He apparently has never lost in a fight before, though he hasn't ever faced a primordial either. Still, it's no wonder he was able to evolve into a demon duke after receiving a name and body. In gaming terms, he had maxed out one of his classes and just needed to fulfill a requirement to evolve the class. Still, it's probably best not to do the summoning in the house I'm staying in. I should be able to find somewhere open to do the summoning. Maybe I can do it in Tokyo? There are only cursed spirits, and Jujutsu sorcerers there right now. That sounds good. I should probably let Raiden know I'm going out. I sent her a thought communication. Raiden, I'm going out. Okay master, have fun. I'll try to. Now with that out of the way, let's go to Tokyo. It only took me a moment to arrive there. I used law domination to make it so there was no sonic boom. I was not surprised when I sensed practically no one inhabiting the city except for some Jujutsu sorcerers and the stray cursed spirits. There were originally millions of cursed spirits according to Sator, though most were incredibly weak, so it seems they were easily exorcised almost immediately. The sorcerers have done a good job of making sure no cursed spirits escape Tokyo by utilizing their barrier arts. There were originally a bunch of cursed spirits inside the wards that Kenjaku created, but the Jujutsu sorcerers were able to get rid of them all since apparently Satoru and Sukuna arranged a ceasefire or something for a month. So they all used that opportunity to purge as many of the cursed spirits as possible, leaving only a few thousand left, an amount that wasn't that hard to deal with. Well, I'll leave them to it. They have their jobs to do, and I'm not going to do the work for them even if I could exorcise all the cursed spirits in a moment. I flew to the top of one of the skyscrapers and admired the view for a moment before I placed some barriers around this entire area of Tokyo in case this demon is less agreeable than I'm hoping for. Now it's time to begin the summoning. Activate demon summoning. As payment I will grant you a material body as long as you serve me loyally. Come demon, answer my call. I gotta use a Chani chant, it's almost a requirement at this point, makes it more fun. I kept supplying more and more magicules, but I could feel that the connection to the demon realm just wasn't being established. The summoning magic attempted to reach out but was unable to latch onto the demon realm. Demon summoning magic just wasn't meant to summon beings from the realm in a completely different space-time. It was created for use in the cardinal world, a world that has a direct connection to the demon realm. It seems that I'll have to use Ouroboros. Unfortunately, that ruins my plan of spreading demon summoning to other worlds, as most other individuals in other worlds don't have the ability to connect to another dimension like I can. Any suggestions, Odin? Answer: it is possible to use otherworlder summoning magic as a base, and modify it to connect to the demon realm rather than summon otherworlders. However, it will require far more power than normal to summon demons using this method. I see, that sounds like a good plan to me. There should be a good amount of beings out there that can fulfill the magic requirements to summon a demon using this method. Normally when a human nation back in the cardinal world summons otherworlders, they need to use multiple people to supply enough magicules, around 30, and even then it sometimes fails. But those guys are weak, so it shouldn't be an issue. I can think of a few people that should be able to fulfill the requirements to summon demons using this new method. There is Irene Belsirian, Ziref Dranil, Sirst Lucifer, and his buddy Ecchi Beelzebub. There are hundreds, if not thousands to millions of beings out there that can fulfill the requirements, seeing as the nature of the multiverse is to be basically infinite. So I don't need to worry about that if I do decide to spread this magic. How fun would it be if I spread a summoning magic that instead of summoning demons, summons me? That could be a fun way to discover new worlds. It wouldn't be hard to create such a method either. That's for future Felix to worry about. Now let's get this summoning magic working, Odin. Affirmative. And there we go. It only took Odin a nanosecond to come up with an alternate method for summoning demons. Now let's try this again. Activate demon summoning. Come demon, serve me loyally and I will incarnate you in the material world. This time I felt the connection with the demon realm form, so that's a good sign. What I wasn't expecting, however, was who I ended up summoning. Gah. Fucking demon summoning, hate getting forcefully summoned like this. I could feel my eyes widen as I took in the appearance of the demon I summoned. Old man? Huh? Kid? Well. At least I know the summoning magic worked. Chapter 62, Reunion. I could feel my eyes widen as I took in the appearance of the demon I summoned. Old man? Huh? Kid? Well. At least I know the summoning magic worked. Still, I never imagined that I would summon the old man. I mean, what are the chances? Ahaha, hey, what's up? Bah, don't what's up me. He spread his arms. I accepted his unspoken invitation and went in for a hug. Once we broke apart he said, haha, it's been a while kid, how've you been? You're one to talk, who's the one who ditched me first? I joked. Bah. We all have to do our own thing sometimes. Yeah, you chose a real shitty way of leaving though. He scratched the back of his head awkwardly. Yeah, you're probably right about that, I never was good with goodbyes. Haha, don't sweat it, I'm just messing with you, I was summoned not long after you left anyways. As if he was just noticing where we were, he took a look around. I won't lie, seeing the shocked look on his face was funny. Is it me or has the world advanced a ton since I was last summoned? Ah, he's probably pretty confused, huh? The cardinal world is quite different from modern Tokyo after all, even if the cardinal world is advanced in its own way. Did you? Ha. Haha, I knew you could do it, kid. Ah, it seems he was able to figure it out pretty quickly, which makes sense seeing as he has magic sense. He should be able to sense that there are no magicules in the air around us, and seeing as he isn't being weakened by a holy barrier, it is pretty easy to come to the conclusion that he is somewhere where magicules aren't found commonly. Especially since I told the old man that I wanted to go to other worlds, then there is the fact that he can probably sense the cursed energy all around us. So this is another world, huh? My sensing range might not be incredibly vast, but I'm surprised that there aren't more people in what seems to be such a large city. Yeah, we got a lot to catch up on, old man. But welcome to Japan, specifically Tokyo. Japan, huh? I've never been, but I didn't quite imagine it would be like this. Ah, he probably can't sense very far, can he, since I still have my barriers up? I quickly dispel my barriers so he can get a better look at everything. Ah, now this seems far larger than what I was sensing earlier. Interesting, this energy in the air is new. What sort of world did you summon me to, brat? Shut up, old man, I'll explain it to you later. Let's go back to my place first. I'll introduce you to my subordinates too. Subordinates, huh? You someone special now? Haha, you could say that. I spread my arms out and said, you're looking at the demon Lord Felix White, also known as the Usurper of Black. Huh? Ah, that stupefied look is priceless. I took this chance to teleport us back to my place. I can give him a tour of this world a little later. It seems Kurumi is awake now, and Raiden is in the kitchen. I swear that girl practically lives there at this point. I sense both of them approaching me, so I wait for them so I can introduce them to the old man. The old man recovered from his shock relatively quickly. So this is where you're staying, huh? It seems pretty fancy. Yup, this is my temporary home. One of the big shots of this world gave it to me. You're living the good life, huh, Mr. Demon Lord? Yup. With status and power comes luxury. Don't I know it? I visited one of those primordials places after you left, and boy was that shit fancy as hell. Haha, I imagine. Which primordials place did you visit? And were they present at the time? It was the primordial of White. Apparently she was summoned by some madman, so I decided to check out what was up with her territory. There wasn't as much chaos as I would have expected. Apparently one of her subordinates was keeping everything in check. Probably Moss. At least I'm able to get a timetable of when he visited Arcuaid's territory. And madman, huh? I guess that's what you could call someone that summons a being that's been around since the dawn of time. Haha. So they're calling me a madman, huh? Well, they aren't wrong. The old man's head snapped to me. You seriously summoned blank? She goes by Arcuaid now. I corrected. And even named her? What the fuck is wrong with you? How are you still alive? Naming her alone would require an absurd amount of power. I'm a pretty strong demon now, and I couldn't even imagine how much power is needed for that. Haha, ascending into a demon lord grants you a significant power boost. You probably can't even imagine how much stronger you can get by becoming a true demon lord, so it seems, you really became someone strong, huh, kid? I was practically forced into it, though I don't regret the choices I made. That's good. The old man wasn't naive enough to believe that one can become a demon lord without any bloodshed. Even Rimuru, a pacifist, slaughtered an army of 10,000 plus humans. You know. I heard that John and Violet had left their territories as well. Do you know anything about that? Haha, yup. I wanted some more overpowered subordinates, so I had Dark UA'd recruit them for me. I'm not even going to bother trying to comprehend what you just said. Still, it's good to see that you're doing good for yourself now. You worried about me, old man? As if. The typical tsundere behavior. I see you've evolved into an archdemon. What's up with that? Yup, the old man managed to evolve into an archdemon. I wonder what happened. To evolve into an archdemon without receiving a name is quite difficult. I had to fight a fucking dragon for it after all. From my analysis I can tell he didn't gain any unique skills from his evolution, but he was far more powerful than before. He is a bona fide archdemon after all. I sensed Raiden and Kurumi were about to meet us, so I said, hold that thought, I want to introduce you to my subordinates first. Raiden uttered first. She gave me a curtsy. Welcome back, master. She then turned to the old man and said, welcome. You even got a maid, huh, kid? Really living the good life. Hello there, thanks for taking care of the kid. Hey, you're just jealous. It is my honor to be of use to my master, there is no need to thank me. Raiden responded. She's the devoted type, eh? Yup, I don't know anyone more loyal than her. Though there are those that can tie with her in terms of loyalty. Did you perhaps forget about me, master? I turned to where the voice was coming from and wasn't surprised to find Kurumi standing at the doorway. Now, I'd never forget my beloved pet. I just said I didn't know anyone more loyal than Raiden. That doesn't mean there aren't those that tie with her. Kurumi came up to me with a pout. As if just noticing the old man, she turned to him and said, oh, and who might you be? My name is Kurumi, the pet of my master. Pet, you into that kinky stuff, huh, kid? He said with an infuriating smirk. Buzz off, you know she didn't mean it like that. I would not mind such a scenario, master. I'm surrounded by lewd women. Truly my life is great. You really scored, huh, kid? Anyways, nice to meet ya. I don't got a name, but I used to go by Ronald, but you two can just call me old man like the kid does. Raiden shook her head. That would be rude to one of my master's guests. I will refer to you as Ronald-sama. You maid types take everything so seriously. It is my duty as my master's maid. Never said that it wasn't good. It's nice to see that the kid has such loyal subordinates. Kurumi interrupted Raiden before she could even get a word out. Well, speak for yourself, Raiden. I'll call him Ronald if he's fine with it. How did you meet our master, Ronald? And I interrupted before the old man could reply. Let's go sit somewhere before we continue this conversation. Sounds good to me. Lead the way, kid. The old man took a sip of the tea Raiden made. This is some damn good tea. I haven't had anything like it in a long time. Even though he was from the United States, it seems the old man can appreciate tea, though I personally don't care for it much, but that doesn't mean I won't drink it. Thank you for the compliment. You really lucked out, kid, getting a maid like that. Yeah, I know. Oh, Raiden is blushing, how adorable, especially when she is so lewd in bed. Truly the Gapmo is amazing. Kurumi was also here, sitting in my lap in her fox form. After giving the old man some tea, Raiden ended up standing behind me, leaving Raiden, Kurumi, and I all facing the old man. So how did you become an archdemon, old man? Last time I saw you, you were only a greater demon. Only, eh? Well, when I was visiting Blank's territory I felt some demons keeping an eye on me. To this day I'm not particularly sure why. Maybe they were interested in his unique skills? A greater demon with a single unique skill is unheard of, let alone 2 unique skills. I'm the only one who could surpass that, and I had a cheat skill that let me copy skills. It wouldn't surprise me if some demons were able to find out about the old man's skills and were interested in how he acquired them. The demon realm is a place where strength rules after all. Thankfully there were no archdemons part of that group or I would be done for, but they ended up attacking me as a group of greater demons. Unfortunately that wasn't nearly enough to get rid of me. After I had fended them all off I ended up evolving into an archdemon. Those demons never showed up again. That's funny. I wonder how they feel knowing they helped another demon evolve into an archdemon. I said. Yup. I bet they're cursing themselves to this day. Now enough about me, kid. What's up with you? How'd you end up becoming a demon lord? I sighed. Well, that's a long story. I've got time. I should have enough magicules to sustain myself for a few weeks, but weirdly I don't feel the world rejecting me. That's right. The old man incarnated himself using a magic body made out of magicules. Once his magicules run out, he won't be able to interact with the material world anymore. He shouldn't be booted back to the demon realm seeing as this world isn't rejecting him like the cardinal world rejects demons. I'll have to get him a body later. Well, it all started with a dragon. I placed a barrier around us, and then went on to tell the old man about everything that happened. From when I got summoned and fought a dragon, then evolving into an archdemon, then meeting Siko in the ogre village, to then meeting Milim and receiving a name causing me to evolve into a demon duke. Then meeting Rimuru on the way to Dwargon. I talked a bit about Tempest as well. Then the orc invasion and my gathering with Milim, Frey, Carrion, and Clayman. He stopped me to ask some questions in between, but he went silent once I started talking about my awakening. Then after my awakening I talked about the Walpurgis. The old man was quite interested in the Walpurgis, though that makes sense seeing as the demon lords are said to be at the top of the world. Kurumi and Raiden were paying close attention as well. It's not like I go into detail about what I was up to before I met them often. You've lived one hell of a life, huh kid? Haha, yup, it's only been like 3 years since I've been summoned too. So you've got a kingdom of your own with plenty of subordinates now, huh? Yeah, though I don't really do much work for my territory, I mostly leave that to Arcuaid. Using one of the primordials to do your job for you. The primordials are a pretty big deal to most, so using them as scapegoats to do your work for you must be surprising to him. Well, she's happy to do it. Those primordials are incredibly loyal. So there are no primordials left in the demon realm, huh? Yup, and it'll likely stay that way for a long, long time. Huh. Well, that's bound to make things interesting. At least now I know exactly what happened. The old man turned to look at Raiden. Ah, Miss Raiden, do you have more tea I can have? We do, and as my master's guest you may call me by my name. I am but a lowly maid after all. Haha, lowly maid my ass, us demons respect strength, and while I might not have always been a demon, I am one now, and I can tell that you could erase me with a wave of your hand. Ah yeah, there is that. The old man might be an archdemon, but at this point that level of strength is little league stuff for me and my direct subordinates. Raiden accepted his explanation and poured him another cup of tea before standing behind me again. Now that we've caught up, it's time I ask you, what did you summon me for, kid? I was mostly just testing out if I could summon a demon in another world. I ended up modifying the summoning ritual to get it to work, but other than that, I've got an experiment of sorts I'm running in this world, and I wanted someone to make sure that everything doesn't go to shit when I eventually leave this world. Staying in this world would suit the old man. Last I heard he just wanted to chill out and relax for a while, and this world is a great spot for that. He has enough strength to brush off basically everything in this world. His abilities are even direct counters to Satoru's, what with spatial severing being able to no-cell infinity. It wouldn't be much work either, but in the end it's his choice. I wouldn't have given any other demon I summoned a choice, but I owe the old man that at the very least. I won't force it though. If you'd rather go back to the demon realm and hang out there, or if you just wanna hang out in this world with no strings attached, that's fine too. I owe you that much. Haha, you don't owe me anything, kid. You're a demon lord now, act like it. I rolled my eyes. Being a demon lord doesn't mean you need to be a dick to everyone. Hell, Clayman is the only blatant dick demon lord, and look what happened to him. Haha, yeah, I'm just messin' with ya. Anyways, I accept. I'll monitor this experiment of yours. I could use the vacation. Hey, I'll even get to try all sorts of food. Plus it's been a long time since I got to mess with modern technology, and I'm sure it has only gotten more advanced over time. Nice. Now I won't have to summon another demon. Alright, let me make you a vessel. Theoretically you shouldn't be getting drained of your magicules since this world isn't rejecting you, but I'll make you a physical body so you can interact with the material world much more easily. Yeah, that'd be great. I don't feel a drain, but I'd prefer a physical body over this magic body. Now what should I make his vessel out of? I think Magisteel should be fine. Then I'll also have to do what I did with the other demons, consume the old man with Beelzebub, then merge him with a pseudo-soul, and then implant that pseudo-soul into the Magisteel body I make for him. Alright, I'm going to have to use one of my skills on you. Alright kid, I trust you. I gave him a nod. Alright, follow me. I don't want to do this in my living room. Kurumi ended up hopping onto my shoulder. I guess she wants to come with us. Before we left, Raiden interrupted us. Master, is it okay if I go back and resume my duties now that our guest has been taken care of? Yeah, make sure to prepare some extra food since the old man is gonna eat with us today. Yes, master. She gave a bow, and then left. Alright, follow me, old man. I took him outside to the yard and had him stand in front of me. Alright, now this might feel a bit weird but don't resist, old man. Okay kid. I raised my palm in his direction. Beelzebub. Once he was stored inside my stomach I began creating the Magisteel body. With that done I merged the old man's soul with one of the pseudo-souls I have stored in my stomach. Once that was done, I merged the pseudo-soul with the magisteel body. How long will it take him to adapt to this, Odin? Answer: the demon Ronald should adapt to his new body within 2 days. During this time he will be capable of shaping the body as he pleases in order to have better compatibility with the magisteel body. Alright, great. The old man can just chill inside my stomach while he adapts to his new body then. I'll have to wait until he's done to explain my plan then. Now what should I do while I wait? I do still need to get the stuff on Rimuru list. I can also create and hide those weapons I want to leave lying around in his world. Oh. I can probably hunt down some people with interesting innate techniques and have Odin analyze them. They might not find any use, but I'd still like to have the data on them. I can probably ask Satoru to help me find people with such curse techniques. He owes me for healing Nobara after all. I can also use one of the favors Satoru owed me for getting rid of all the barriers around Japan, but I doubt I will need to. That's what I'm going to do. I should also probably let Raiden know that she doesn't need to make extra food since the old man is indisposed. Raiden, you don't need to make extra food for the old man. He's currently getting used to his new body, so he's indisposed at the moment. I see, then I will store the extra food for when Ronald-sama is ready for it then. Alright, thanks Raiden. Of course, Master. It is getting pretty late, so I guess I can start my self-given quest tomorrow. It seems Raiden isn't quite done with making dinner, so I guess I'll practice some new applications of spatial manipulation that I've come up with. I should have an hour or two before dinner is ready. I scratch Kurumi, who is still sitting on my shoulder. Go on inside, Kurumi. I want to test out some abilities of mine. She gave me a lick and then hopped off my shoulder and went back inside the house. Now that that's done, time for the fun part. I was able to draw inspiration from other fictional worlds I remember from my first life, so I have a few different things to test out that shouldn't be too destructive as long as I don't wish it to be. I can also mess with some new applications of gravity magic, thanks to law domination, gravity, and a bunch of other aspects of reality are basically my bitch. Hell, space itself is my bitch. I don't even need to come up with new ways to use my current abilities since I'm already at the top of the pyramid when it comes to the elements I have mastery over, but if I have the time, then why not have fun with my abilities? Now it's testing time. As I was waiting at the dining table with Kurumi, I went through a list of all the abilities I was able to recreate. There are quite a few interesting spatial magics in Black Clover, so I decided to start from there. The first spell I tried to recreate was Spatial Rupture. It basically creates flying slashes made up of spatial magic that can carve straight through space, erasing whatever they touch upon contact. It's basically a bootleg spatial severing. Not something I ever see myself using, but still something fun to recreate. Of course, in Black Clover this is accomplished by swinging a demon sword of some kind, but I can do this on my own. Since I had already made a Black Clover spell, I ended up recreating all of the spatial spells I could remember. There is Archangel Shootdown. Basically, the user creates multiple spheres of pure compressed space and launches them at an opponent. The spheres will then erase anything and everything they touch. Of course, unlike Black Clover, this can be easily resisted as there are plenty of people capable of regenerating from the wounds such an attack would give. Let alone the fact that many have barriers that might be able to block this. I'm mostly just recreating these spells for fun. I don't see them having much use except for when I'm in other worlds and just want to mess around without being too serious. Next was Archangel Destruction. Basically the same as Archangel Shootdown, except instead of multiple spheres of compressed space, I make one massive sphere of compressed space. Such a spell can easily erase a mountain. And even then it can get larger infinitely as long as I fuel it with more and more magicules. Of course, I'm also capable of creating portals that can transport objects or attacks back at my opponent, along with creating entire new dimensions if I wish to. I haven't experimented much with creating dimensions as I have not needed to. But according to Odin, I am capable of creating dimensions similar to the underworld and heaven from DxD, but far better. Dimensions that even the gods would drool over. After all, Olympus, Yami, heaven, Asgard, Takamagahara, and all those godly residences are theoretically just dimensions layered on top or under the earth. Those dimensions were larger than the earth, so of course creating a dimension of that size has an immense magicule cost, but I have that covered should I ever need to create such a large dimension. Of course, I am not yet capable of creating a dimension with its own laws and inhabitants. That's in the realm of its own. If I could do that, I would be a creator god in my own right. I'm capable of creating dimensions that are sort of connected to the reality that I inhabit. But Odin did say such a thing should theoretically be possible if I obtain a skill focused on creation. However, the dimensions I am capable of creating are still permanent and quite stable. Not many should be capable of destroying the dimension. To do so, one would need to release about 15% of my own power, which is quite a lot seeing as I am stronger than most awakened demon lords. Hell, Luminous isn't even capable of releasing that much power. Though maybe I can create a much smaller training dimension, one with a far higher gravity and extremely hazardous conditions. Raiden's dragon underlings would probably grow quite a bit in such an environment. Answer. It is easily doable. Nice. Then I'll have to set that up when I get back. There were also some other offensive and defensive spatial magic spells, but I wasn't particularly interested in those. Next up was gravity magic. Black Clover has some interesting applications of this attribute, from the basic stuff like decreasing gravity, basically making things float, to making fucking black holes. It's a damn good thing I used isolate and increase the space inside the barrier before I started practicing these spells, or there may not have been a city for us to be in. Anyways, the people with the gravity attribute could manipulate it at will, though for the more advanced stuff they need a grimoire like everyone else. They are capable of all the basic gravity manipulation, increasing and decreasing gravity, compressing an object by pressuring them from all sides with increased gravity, and they could even boost their attacks by increasing the gravity on a weapon, making it do more damage due to the added weight. I was able to recall basically all the spells in the series due to Odin being able to pull such things from my memories. Though I only ever watched the anime, which ended off on season 4 when I was alive. There was Presence of the Demon King, an ability used by one of those guys possessed by devils which granted him the ability to use gravity magic. I think it was one of the big 3 of the devils that gave him such an ability, Lucifero. Anyways, Presence of the Demon King drastically increases the strength of the gravity in front of them. All objects in the area are slammed to the ground, and it's even capable of bending light. A pretty basic use of gravity manipulation, but impressive nonetheless. Still, Demon Lord Saki is obviously better for intimidation purposes. That very same user was also able to increase the power of his punches by simultaneously increasing and decreasing the gravity of his fists, making it stronger and faster. There are some other uses, but the one I was most interested in was gravity singularity. Basically, the user creates a tiny black hole by increasing gravity to a point where nothing, no particles, or electromagnetic radiation like light can escape from it. The level of control and power needed for this is astronomical, to the point where I'm surprised a verse like Black Clover has such a thing. The attack sucks in and destroys everything around it. The user is also capable of controlling the black hole's movement. As the black hole moves away from the user, it grows bigger and bigger due to sucking in more things, and as a result the range of its destruction expands. This spell can casually mow through an entire mountain range in moments. And the spell only gets stronger and stronger. And due to the immense gravity, the black hole is capable of warping space-time, allowing it to bend incoming attacks. Truly a fun spell. And all that is done by a mere contractor of Lucifero. The shit that Lucifero or someone that eats his heart is able to do must be even better. And Lucifero's peers must have a similar level of magic, Astroth with his time magic, Beelzebub with his spatial magic, and possibly Magicula, Astroth's replacement with her curse-warding magic. That world is definitely on the list of worlds to visit if it exists out there. Then there was time manipulation. It was a bit harder for me to recreate these spells since time is by default the highest tier element around, but I managed. Though I only managed to come up with some basic spells with the time I had. Like putting people into stasis by making them relive a moment in time over and over again, as well as accelerating my movement by accelerating my own time. I was hesitant to go any further, seeing as fucking with time can go wrong real quick. There is a reason it is considered the highest tier element back in the cardinal world and barely anyone can manipulate it. I also practiced some other uses of spatial manipulation that I could come up with. I can erase or rupture space itself, causing whatever is occupying said space to be obliterated as well. Hell, I could tear off someone's limb by separating the space that said limb occupies. Then of course there is blue, which creates negative space, which pulls all the surrounding space into it to fill the void, basically creating a magnetic pull that sucks everything in, and the opposite red, which pushes space apart. Of course there is no way I wouldn't try and replicate Kami, it's a classic. It basically works by hiding the physical properties of one's bodies inside another dimension, making it look like the user is visually present, but impervious to all attacks. Of course spiritual attacks will still be able to get past Kami. This is more for basic attacks that aren't capable of harming my spiritual or astral body. And guess who has his own special dimension located in his own body? I was easily able to use stomach to recreate Kami. And since all these spells I'm recreating are done using Ouroboros, they are all intrinsically superior to normal spatial magic, or gravity magic. In fact, these can be considered more like arts rather than spells, but hey, semantics. Still, more than half these abilities will never see use, but oh well, it was fun recreating abilities from my childhood. I'm sure there are still many more abilities from fiction I can recreate, but that's what I got done during the time I had. I'm sure Odin can come up with a bunch of better ways to make use of Ouroboros, but this is for my own enjoyment, and relying on Odin for every little thing is a quick way to make everything boring. I came up with some new lightning abilities that I plan to share with Raiden as well, though some of these abilities I'm sure she is already capable of doing on the first try. Master, the food is ready. I looked towards where the voice came from and was met with my beautiful maid coming out with 2 covered dishes. One for me, and one for Kurumi. I assume Raiden will bring her own food out after. It seems she got a little fancy tonight. Rest in peace, old man, you won't be able to enjoy this with us. Raiden places the 2 dishes in front of us, and slowly removes the cover. It looks amazing, but I have no clue what this is. I wasn't a fancy person in any of my previous lives after all. Still, Raiden has been enjoying exploring this world's cuisine. This is boeuf bourguignon, a red wine-based beef stew. I also prepared some potatoes to go with it. I have no clue what the first item is, but it looks good. I turned to look at Kurumi, who seemed quite interested as well. Get your portion then, Raiden, we can all eat together. Yes, master. Once everyone was ready, we dug in, and boy did it taste far better than it looked. This is really good, Raiden. Maybe I should get you some cookbooks from this world to take back with us. Raiden looked interested. Thank you, master. Yes, I would appreciate having these cookbooks as long as it helps me prepare better food for you. I'll pick some up then. I responded. Indeed, Raiden, this is quite delicious. I look forward to what else you make for our master. Kurumi complimented. Raiden gave Kurumi a brief nod before going back to eating. Once we finished eating, we all went and did our own things. I decided to hang out in my room and browse the internet. Raiden is doing maid things, and Kurumi is in her room doing who knows what. Oh, it seems Satoru sent me a text. He wants to show me some of his favorite sweet stores tomorrow. Why not? I got nothing else to do other than some errands which I can do anytime. I might as well ask him to show me some interesting innate techniques tomorrow as well. Good, he agreed. We plan to meet up around noon, so I will have to find a way to occupy myself until then. I'll probably just have Ecchi pick up all the things Rimuru wanted me to bring. I'll also have him bring some other things as well. Like guns. I wonder if I can enchant those to create some interesting effects. Maybe a gun that shoots bullets that erase space. Glenda had a weapon that shot bullets made of magicules, so it is definitely possible to add magical effects to a gun. I may not be an expert blacksmith, but enchanting is a type of magic, and magic is my bitch as long as I have Odin. You can do all sorts of things with enchantments. You can enchant people or objects with spells that allow them to use magic without possessing the knowledge or skills for said magic. You can even use it to create autonomous magic devices. For example, Rimuru set up a self-sustaining barrier along the pathway connecting Tempest and Bleemond. Irene Belsirian was capable of doing some pretty crazy things with enchantments as well. That will definitely be enjoyable to experiment with in the future. I sent Ecchi a quick message telling him everything I want him to get. Guns? Which guns did you want? Just get me a bunch of different ones. Yes. Once I have a single gun, I can easily recreate them, so all I need is variety. Maybe I can ask Satoru to get me a minigun. I'm sure he has the connections for that. For some reason I feel like Megaman would love a minigun. I should also probably personally buy everyone a souvenir. Siko, Arcuaid, Megaman, Lalatina, Milim, Rimuru, Ingvild, Glenda and Veldora. I don't think I'm all that close to anyone else, but man, is it going to be difficult finding suitable gifts for each of them. Though I do have a bit of an idea of what to get Lalatina. Truly, her degeneracy has corrupted me for me to even consider what I am going to get her. I can probably buy Veldora some weeb shit. Maybe I can buy Arcuaid a fancy dress of some kind. Fuck it, I'll get Megaman a minigun if possible. I'll get Milim some sweets and store it in stomach so they are as fresh as possible. For Siko, I can get her something more meaningful. She is my lover after all and would appreciate something like that. Maybe jewelry? And for Rimuru I can get porn. Yes, I will gift him some porn. Elf porn specifically. That dude has an intense elf fetish. Not that I can blame him, the dark elves I've seen around my territory are damn fine. Last I heard, Raiden has been training a group of dark elves to be my maids. There are some newer dark elves she recruited, along with some of the maids that already worked in my palace back when it was claimants. Though they weren't up to Raiden's standards, so she is retraining them. She said that she was training them so that they can take care of the more basic tasks like cleaning and such, while Raiden herself stays with me at all times. In total, after Raiden's training, I will have about 30 maids, and Raiden said she wanted at least 100 more. Talk about overkill, but they're maids. I'm not going to say no to more maids. I don't really mind either way, so I gave her the go-ahead to continue. While normal elves follow the human evolution path of enlightened, saint, and then divine. Dark elves are technically magians, as they were corrupted by the chaos dragon's miasma when Milim went on a rampage, so I'm able to name them. Though I've held off from doing so due to Raiden's suggestion to only name them once their maid training is complete. She said it would be a reward for getting through her harsh training, plus Raiden has been training them in combat as well. According to her, as my maids they must be able to deal with insignificant bugs who overstep. So holding off on the naming until they are stronger will give them a larger boost in power. I don't have an issue with that as I trust Raiden to make sure they are loyal and don't step out of line. In fact, I remembered that Arcuaid has also been making use of the Dark Elves. She said that she has been training some to be her servants to take care of the simple tasks so she has more time to spend with me. There are a bunch of Dark Elves to choose from, and most don't really have anything to do, though they are all generally eager to work. And since they aren't making a fuss that I killed their previous ruler, I don't need to purge them. A win-win scenario for both parties. Hey, I bet Rimuru will be jealous once I show him all my Dark Elves. He knows of them, but hasn't quite gotten around to seeing them. Maybe I'll invite him and Milim to explore those underground ruins with me whenever I get around to it. I can get Ingvild something related to music, maybe I can get her the sheets for a bunch of modern songs. She fell into the sleeping sickness way before the modern age so she hasn't had an opportunity to listen to or sing modern music. Fuck it, I can also get Glenda a custom Desert Eagle and then enchant the shit out of it. She won't need to worry about the knockback as an enlightened. Still, coming up with gifts was easier than I thought it would be. I looked at my creations. These weapons should be good enough for my plans. I ended up browsing the internet for a few hours. I had a lot to catch up on after all. New shows, new anime, new memes. I only stopped around 12 a.m. before having a quickie with Raiden. Sex has been a staple in my life ever since I first slept with Siko, and I wouldn't have it any other way. I ended up deciding to get some work done before I meet Satoru, so I decided to create the weapons I plan to hide in this world, and figure out how exactly I want to hide them. I created around 50 special-grade weapons, each enchanted with a basic magic like Icicle Lance, Wind Cutter, Wind Blade, Lightning Lance, etc. Then there were 20 rare grades, each capable of channeling an element. For example, one could coat itself in lightning, and with enough mastery, one can use the lightning coating the weapon in all sorts of ways, like sending out a beam of pure lightning. Then I ended up creating 3 unique grade weapons rather than the one I originally planned to make. One is capable of manipulating gravity to an extremely limited extent, like using gravity to pressure someone, or to increase the weight behind their attacks. And that too at the most basic level. Another is capable of weakening someone with each cut, even being able to knock someone unconscious after enough damage is dealt. This effect was created using curse magic. And the last one is able to manipulate both water and ice. Each of these can boost a sorcerer's strength significantly. I wanted to make one of the unique grade weapons have the ability to affect space to a limited extent, but decided against it since it could be used to harm Satoru, or the old man since he plans to stay here, not something I want to have a hand in, even if unintentionally. And all these weapons were created using material creation so they are a tad bit inferior to same grade weapons made by a blacksmith. Of course I could create far better weapons by using stardust in their creation rather than magicules, but I'm definitely not going to do that for this world. Stardust can do some crazy shit, and I don't feel comfortable leaving anything it has influenced in this world unmonitored. That would just be irresponsible. I ended up deciding to hide the special grade weapons in a pretty classic way. I'll hide them all over the world and leave clues, or a treasure map that correlates to each weapon. These weapons are good, but not game changers since anyone experienced enough can deal with them, so I didn't put too much effort into hiding them. I'll probably end up distributing the clues and the maps before I make my announcement. I can have them sold for cheap at pawn shops and such. It really all depends on your luck if you can get one of those weapons. For the rare grade weapons I'll hide them underground, in a dungeon of sorts, with traps everywhere, and maybe some golems and other such enemies. I don't want it to be too easy to get these weapons after all. And then for the 3 unique grade weapons I plan to give the one with ice and water abilities to the old man for him to distribute to whomever he finds worthy, Jolner style. And for the other 2, I plan to hide them in extremely difficult to locate and navigate dungeons. I plan to make the most difficult one to acquire the gravity unique grade weapon, after all that one has the most potential. I sure as hell want it to be hard to get. I plan to hide it deep underground in a dungeon, and said dungeon will be filled with all sorts of enemies. I think special A rank enemies should be good. Special A rank enemies are generally capable of fucking up a smaller sized nation.